What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
I'm Dickens, and I got my thing stolen. I was going to do that.
This is mostly nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details.
Woohoo! This is how you know we don't coordinate, by the way. This is like how you know, confirmed.
It's true. This week, speaking of no coordination, we're going to talk about a movie that was picked in a thing. If you're like, why that? That's why. Yeah. Exactly. A dead movie. And it's interesting. We'll talk about it, and we'll have things to say.
Nando, do you have the name of the fine listener who asked us to do this on
hand? Do. Their name is Nick.
I would love to know why they wanted us to do this. Not that... I mean, we'll talk about how we feel about the movie, etc. I'm not trying to say, like, this movie's bad and we shouldn't have done it or whatever, or that this episode won't be interesting. It just feels like an odd pick for us.
I think that's why they did it. From what I understand, it is because we don't do anime very often, that they wanted to throw us in the middle of one of these anime.
But we have in the past. We have a non-zero history of doing anime.
Which
anime have we done?
Which animes have you done?
Yeah.
I feel like, well, maybe I'm going back to our Mad Bracket Status days when sometimes the characters would be sprinkled throughout. I mean, we were on the Steins Gate, like, what, subreddit or Wikia or something?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
We haven't done anything like that in years. I'm trying to think of, like, what's the last mainstream anime-adjacent movie thing? Like, something that could qualify as anime that we have talked about on the show. As an episode. Not like
DJ
a recommendation.
And I have wrecked some animes.
Yeah, not a wreck. I'm talking about one that was the subject of a show.
The Battle Angel Alita.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I'll count that. So yeah, it's been what, 4 years since that movie came out? Too long, if you ask me.
Well, here we are again on our anime.
Yeah. So we're back to that. You guys, but before we get to that, we have some news. Exciting news, you guys, and I'm going to share with you. I'm going to put it in the chat so you guys can see it, because I don't know if you guys saw, but we got an announcement from James Gunn about some new DC stuff that they're working on. So we can watch it together. I just put it in the thing.
Okay.
So this is the man himself, as you can see by his face and voice. So, we'll all watch it, and let me know when you guys have it up.
All right. Yep. We're good to go.
All right. Diggins, you good?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is James Gunn was wrong about the Snyderverse because exactly.
We're getting another Snyderverse?
We got to do it. Zach gets it, or James gets it. Zach gets it too, obviously, because he's Zach. But like James gets it even more, and it's pretty incredible.
This is so exciting.
I'm really happy as a fan of both things. That first of all, I'm happy that James was able to admit his mistake, and stand in front of a camera and hold his body completely still.
Yeah, very realistically say.
Yeah, in a voice that sounds like his voice. So I'm like, that's pretty good. For the machines. So I don't know if you guys seen any of these this week. There's a whole bunch of them going around.
No, but I am concerned because so for listeners who can't see it, I don't know if we're going to post this, but it's like a CGI James Gunn who's not really moving, but he's talking about how let's bring back the Snyderverse, yada 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 yada. But I know it's oh haha, funny, but the technology is going to get somewhere where it's oh no, this is good. It can, fool us and deepfake us. And is no one terrified of our new horrifying future?
I mean, that's the good part, is these guys can just make their own Snyderverse when the deepfakes are good enough, and we don't have to bother with it. They can sell it to Netflix. So that's pretty good.
I guess so. I sure guess so.
My constant bone-deep horror at all the myriad ways in which the future looks bleak and bad is just so ingrained at this point that I barely even feel it. A new thing comes out and I'm like, that might as well happen.
Yep. Yeah. It's pretty good. It sounds right. The faces, I feel like faces are tough to fake. I feel like the Uncanny Valley is just difficult. I don't think we've done it convincingly in movies.
Right.
But we'll see. Maybe the AI will be able to do it. And,
I would say it's about on par with that dwarf they made entirely out of CGI in the third Hobbit movie.
The one played by the Scottish guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that guy. So you think it's about as good as that? Then we're in trouble. Because I didn't know that guy was CGI until just now. I thought that was the man himself, Bill something or whatever that guy is. I was fooled.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you were fooled, Nando, at that PlayStation model, talking on screen slightly out of sync with the audio.
I'm fooled by my PlayStation. I turn that on and I'm like, oh my god! All the Overwatches and what other games am I playing this thing? They're all right there on my TV in my living room. The train's coming right at me. I just believe whatever I'm told. So yeah, it's pretty good. They want to sell the Snyderverse to Netflix, according to James Gunn, and all of the actors in their suits from the movies, not in plain clothes, dressed as their characters, all gave very good little press conferences where they told us that's what they're going to do. It would be very profitable.
It's very exciting.
What if they did, though? Like, not because of this, but they were just like, yeah, we don't care. Whatever. Because who gives a shit? You know? Netflix can't care. I mean, like, DC can't care. Nobody's going to watch it anyway. Like,
I mean, that's true.
They have the numbers now with HBO Max and the Snyder Cut. They know that it won't do anything for them if they do it.
Yeah. But I guess... Yeah, I mean, they made the biggest mistake by giving the mouse the cookie that one time, and then we'll never be done. But
it wants a glass of milk, then it's going to want... I forget how this goes. I haven't read that book since I was a wee babe.
Yeah, I don't remember how it goes either. I'm pretty sure by the end, the mouse is leading an assault on Mouse Capital. We can't trust that mouse.
I thought it was that the mouse just deep fakes all media so that we don't know it's real anymore.
No, it's that the mouse goes to the Netflix and the Snyderverse and he makes it happen. That's his move. So that's pretty cool.
It's the mouse from the 90s show Capital Critters who gets a gun.
I haven't seen it. Is that good?
Oh, it's something.
I mean, listen, it's great to have animals with weapons. It's very fun to me.
Oh, no, Nando. This was in a vaguely political satire where it was meant to be a very serious episode about the assault weapons ban.
Wait, what? What show is this?
It's called Capital Critters.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie Critters. I don't know what this is. It sounds awful. Not awful. Well, it does, though. But, like, oh, no, it's worse than I thought. It's a horrible... Neil Patrick Harris is the main guy. Oh, no.
So there was a brief period in the 90s after The Simpsons came out where a bunch of people were like, we should make a cartoon for adults. Except their tiny little mush brains were like, cartoon for kid, though. Cartoon mean for kid. And so they tried to make cartoons that were like for adults or like had more adult themes. But for some reason, they could only manage to do it in, like, full-on Saturday morning cartoon style, like, wacky sound effects and simplistic plots and everything. Just, also, sometimes there was an episode about the assault weapons ban.
That's terrible.
Huh.
And Capital Critters was one of them.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah, cool, I guess. That's so... interesting is not the right word, but... It's something.
The important thing is that I've poisoned your minds with another useless thing I know.
Appreciate it, Dickens. I mean, that's why you're here, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like it's a contest between the three of us to poison the other one's mind so that we're the last one. You know? Whoever's the last man standing after all of this poisoning of each other's minds wins the podcast.
Oh, I didn't know it was to win the podcast.
So, I mean, what else? What other goals can there be?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
We're
just going to do this for the rest of our lives? There's an end goal.
I mean, we're definitely going to do it for the rest of our lives because
that's for sure.
We have so much mental fortitude and such that, you know, we'll be able to withstand it. But in case one of us comes up with a great idea, then we'll be able to, you know, win the podcast. But I think it'll be tough because I think we're pretty good at this. I mean, we've made it through some really rough movies that really test if we can, you know, exist. So we'll see if they have something that can beat us. Maybe next week. Who knows?
No.
We'll see. Maybe.
People are saying.
I don't want to spoil it, but we'll see. But you guys, besides the Snyderverse, obviously, there's other stuff going on this week. Like the Super Bowl things. Did you guys see that?
Oh, so many Super Bowl things.
first up, the Super Smash Brothers meme is a good meme. That's very funny. I like it.
It's a good meme, yeah.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, if you're one of the, I guess, like 200 million Americans like Diggins who did not watch the Super Bowl, Rihanna did a halftime show on some floating platforms with backup dancers that really did look like not a Battlefield from Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah. And it's like, it had the perfect profile. It looked exactly like what one of those looks like. And they even left some of them empty so we could Photoshop like Captain Falcon onto it and stuff.
Yeah. How smart of them. They're so smart.
They knew what they were doing.
It did help when Rihanna unhinged her jaw and swallowed another person, and then they kind of just like she crouched down and they popped out of her in some unspecified way, and suddenly she had their powers.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah.
It's weird that 2 of the Smash Brothers characters can do that. 3 if you count DDD. And it's different for everybody, you know? Like 3 people eat up the guy fully in their body, because also Wario does a big chomp. And it's like,
right.
One of them gets the power, obviously the best of the 3, and one of them just kind of shoots, spits him out, and then one of them makes an egg, which is okay, I guess, but not really that useful. Interesting.
Somebody at Nintendo loves Vor. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So
I
didn't need that. You poisoned my mind. Thank you. So
there you go.
You're 2 for 2, Diggins. I'm so happy.
But we got some, you know what we got, guys? We got all kinds of good trailers. We got 2, really, that were new. All the rest were old ones. I mean, we had a Fast and Furious thing. Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, so I would like to say, clarify on this. We did not get trailers. We got, like, little go fetch quests for trailers. Like, oh, would you like to see this trailer? Then go check it out on blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's not a trailer. That's a fucking... It's a lie is what it is.
That is a lie.
Right? Because it wasn't like here's the full trailer because they can't afford it. It's like, here's snippets of a trailer, go watch it online. Like, this is bullshit. Show me a goddamn trailer.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
Did you guys see the Fast and Furious one?
Yes.
I didn't, actually.
Looks fine. It looks like the rest of them.
Did you hear Vin Diesel let some words slip out of his ham hock mouth about what he wants for the Fast franchise?
I did hear this, and I think I feel like this has been in the cards since the last movie, as like, maybe even the one before that, as like the obvious end game for these.
I did not hear this.
Tell DJ what it is, Diggins?
Yeah, please share.
So he was saying that he wants, first he was saying he would love to have Robert Downey Jr. be in the movies.
Obviously.
And what he wants Robert Downey Jr. to be is the final villain, who is like a tech guy who makes big AIs that self-pilot cars and whatever. The final threat to the family, being replaced as the good drivers.
I love it. Oh, yeah. Is this like confirmed? Can we make this happen?
This is just a thing he was saying. Like, I would like this to happen. This is not in any way confirmed.
I would like this to happen too. It's so good.
I mean, again, I feel like we did self-driving cars kind of for a little bit. That was Cypher's first move. I mean, like, it wasn't AI, but it was like the cars were, you know, they were driving themselves. And then also, didn't the drone have AI that they were fighting? They had to trick.
Yes.
She was remote piloting, right? Because it was like, oh, the thing exploded, she's dead, and then we cut to her getting out of her.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of a different drone. I'm thinking of the drone from 7.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I don't think Jimon Hansu was driving it. I think it was like, not that that's that exciting, but I mean, do you think cars can beat our boys and girls?
It's weird because as we have established, the Fast family are superheroes when they're around vehicles.
Yes.
So, like, if they have to go up against vehicles, do they have the mastery over vehicles required?
Well, yeah. Dominic Toretto is the king of the cars, and by divine right, no car may harm him. So, this is actually the single worst way to try to defeat him.
Oh, man. That's so tough.
I mean, yeah, I wonder... I just wonder, like, will the cars turn into a big giant man? Like, how will
like
they
Transformers?
End up
like what?
Well, you know, like I don't know. They didn't do this in the movie, but like sometimes Ultron all the drones will turn into one big Ultron, and like,
yeah.
Like, are we gonna get that where like the Fast and Furious guys are fighting a kaiju? Because that would be different from what the rest of these have been, which is just the same kind of thing over and over again. But
yeah, I still want the like Jurassic World crossover. That's what I want.
Me too.
Like what else does Universal own? Minions? Can we get
Minions.
them crossed over with Minions? What can we make happen here?
If Tom could run over a couple of Minions in the end of this one, and that would be a real crowd pleaser.
If they could get a movie with Fast and Furious and the Minions together, it would be the perfect marriage of things with equal artistic integrity.
I mean, I think we know who needs to be involved. It's Tom Cruise. It's Russell Crowe.
I like that.
It's Javier Bardem, Sofia Boutella, and a fifth one I can't remember, but there were 5 people in that picture. Oh, Johnny Depp. Right, Johnny Depp was going to be in it. All of them. Yeah, get them all. And then they could fight the Fast team. Because they are also unkillable superhumans. Because that's the other thing. It's not just that they are superhuman drivers. Ludacris and Tyrese decided they were also incapable of being murdered. Yeah, and I mean, Gala's coming back for the next one, and she very definitively died. Like, as implausible as it was that Han was back, like, this is way worse. But I don't know. I have no idea. I just have no even guess. But we didn't see her in this at all.
No, we did not.
Which is good. Yeah, it was interesting because my Hannah and I were watching it, so I was showing it to her, and you get to that part in the trailer where Letty does the little motorcycle stunt that's like an actual stunt. And she went, oh, that looks cool, because that's like a real thing. And then the next thing that happened was the thing that Vin Diesel does at the end of the trailer. I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen it. And then she just burst out laughing because it's not. Like, for a second, you're like, oh, that's what this is. Yes. Oh, cool. Stunts. But then it's like, nope. CGI bullshit. I mean, Jason Momoa seems like he's having a good time, so that's something.
I'm glad they got hit. So, like, is he supposed to be like the pseudo Rock replacement? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like he's like there to replace the Rock.
If anything, he feels like the John Cena replacement because that one didn't work. And it's
John Cena's in this, right? Like, he's back. Yeah. He's back.
Oh no, for sure. And he's like, I guess he's kind of replacing the Rock, but I mean, like, this guy is doing pretty much what John Cena was doing in the last one of these. Again, it's just like, I want to get revenge and I want to kill you and I'm great at driving and I have a grudge with you. Whereas The Rock was just kind of a different guy from other side of the law. But I don't think John Cena worked very well as the villain in the last one. So they're like, let's try that again, but with a different guy. Also, Cypher's going to put a brain in Letty or something. I don't know what the fuck that was. But that's what that looked like. Insane that she's still in these.
She doesn't have anything else. The Dungeons and Dragons movie, I guess. But besides that, like, yeah. What else
I mean,
that's
gonna be a big hit. I don't know if you've ever been to a store recently, but they are really going to sell action figures for that. They have lots of. You go to your local Target, you will find Dungeons and Dragons figures right next to all the Supermen and Spider-Men.
I mean,
you get Hugh Grant or Hugh. Wait. Yeah, Hugh Grant, right? That's the one that is?
Please make this with Hugh Grant in it. I need that to fucking happen.
Wait, which one is he? Yeah, it's Hugh Grant. He's in it.
Is it? Wait, who is he playing?
I don't know if it's the bad guy, but it seems like the bad guy. He's in the trailers.
Speculating that he's Daggult Neverember, but we don't actually know that.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry for laughing.
News. He's in the poster. Well, I have a problem with Hugh Grant, and then all the other Hollywood Hughes. Obviously, Hugh Jackman is not as big of a problem. Hugo Weaving, that's right. What's the Hugh Lowry? That was who I was like, oh, Dr. House. Shit, that's the other one. But yeah, you can buy an action figure of him. You can buy one of the kid that's in the Jurassic World movies and Detective Pikachu. He's in there.
Him in the Dungeons and Dragons movie. For a second, I thought he was like, you could buy a movie of the kid from the Jurassic World movie, and I was like, why would you?
I mean, you can. You could just take him and put him next to a dinosaur, and then it's like he has his foot in both worlds. I think he's an elf or something in this one. I don't know.
I think
they probably had a trailer. I didn't see it. But you guys, there were obviously some that were important, like Transformers. They're doing more of those. Yay. I don't know. It'll probably be okay.
What if it's good? I have no barometer now in these fucking movies.
I would be surprised.
Is it a new Michael Bay one, or is it a new non-Michael Bay one?
I don't think Michael Bay's making them at all anymore, but I don't know who is making it. Okay, this is the Beast Wars one.
They've made only one of these CGI Transformers movies that wasn't Michael Bay, so...
Well, exactly, but this seems to be in that timeline. Like, I think it's set in the 90s. And it's called Rise of the Beasts. It is directed by Steve Caple Jr., who directed Creed 2.
Henry Cavill's son?
It's Caple, Caple. But yeah, he is Henry Cavill's son.
Well, yeah, he changed his name to avoid nepotism.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't want to
doesn't
be a nepo baby.
Yeah, it would be embarrassing.
The worst crime being a nepo
But
baby.
he kept the junior, so he wants people to like he's leaving us hints. But yeah, he did Creed 2 in a movie called The Land. I don't know, the Transformers one happened. Okay, but the real ones that count. Guardians of the Galaxy had a trailer. That movie's probably gonna be pretty good, isn't it?
Looks good.
I don't know. Are we sure? Are we sure, guys? Are we sure?
I mean, they've made 2 good ones of those so far. Nothing seems to have changed.
Yeah.
2 is fine. Like 1 is like it's weird. 1 is iconic. 2 is fine.
2
right?
is great.
It's tough.
I think 2 holds up. Like, I think it's different than 1, and it's got a different kind of like goal. But I think 2 is pretty solid. Like one of the, I don't know, at least top 10 Marvel movies, probably top 5.
I
I
agree.
have to watch it again.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't know. I mean, I think I just do think they are probably like the best 2 Marvel movies that exist. So it's hard for me to imagine
Really?
this one being not at least pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. Guardians 1, I feel like is maybe the single most like just solid movie.
Oh,
that's come out
yeah.
of
I'm
the
with you on
franchise.
1. 1 is all time. 1 is all time.
I don't know. I thought the 2 was pretty good. I don't know. I like 2.
All right.
I liked it. That
Well, DJ, you should rewatch it now because you'll connect with it much better now because it's about dads.
Oh, duh.
no, but he'll connect
I'm
with
such
Ego.
an idiot. Yeah.
He'll be upset that in the end, Peter doesn't join him for the convergence or whatever he calls expansion.
Yeah.
And doesn't destroy the whole planet. He'll be mad. But yeah, so they made another Guardians movie. This one has all the guys in it. You wouldn't believe it. I don't think there was really anything new in this one, which is fine.
There was
Not
a
complaining.
brief hint that maybe Peter and Nebula are going to get together. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like, I'm down,
I don't think that's
but
really gonna
also
happen, but
it would be insane. Yeah, right. It would be like, but like, in the moment, Peter doesn't seem like he's fucking with her. Like he's like, it's, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be dope as fuck, right? Like, it'd be awesome.
It'd be so weird to be like, oh, your sister died. But then there's the other one, and then the sister.
Time
comes back
has
and is like,
passed.
I already picked a new one. Sorry.
Do we even know what the timeline is?
I'm pretty sure
The
it
Guardians
follows
ones are always kind of
directly
whenever.
off the end of the, or directly off of the beginning of the new Thor movie.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
And then there was another trailer, you guys, for a little picture called Batman 7 or 8. I don't know what number we're on if you don't count the Pattinson ones. But it's got some guest stars. But it's mostly about Michael Keaton. The Batman is back. He's standing right in front of the camera and saying his line.
Yeah.
You know, that happened. And I don't remember if there was anything else in that trailer.
Yeah, there was a portal of some kind, but I'm like hazy on the details of said portal.
Yeah.
Not
I think
exactly
that's
sure what
probably
the deal with that
Supergirl
is.
related. I want to say she was in it too.
Yeah.
Those two work together to
You know,
stop.
for some reason,
someone.
I had flashes of the Lady Gaga song from A Star Is Born.
Oh.
I haven't seen. What is that song?
It's a song that some people get very annoyed when you play it over and over again on karaoke.
They would never put that in the trailer. That would be like a like dog whistle just to make all the that'd be like when you say the certain word to make a certain device in everybody's house activate and then buy something as a joke on a podcast. Like that would.
Oh, can we mess
be
with everyone right
chaos.
now?
It would be chaos if they put that in the trailer because you would never know what would happen. People could die. That's not good. Yeah.
Let's not be hyperbolic about it.
What else was in there? Those two things. General Zod is back. He's got his stupid little goatee. We're back to that for some reason.
Yeah.
We're reversing it. Superman hasn't killed anyone now.
That's right. They have a big fight. Pretty good. And
They
then
fucking know.
And then obviously the most important thing, Ben Affleck Batman also back. The bots, the Jack Snyder bots have won again.
Ben back, more like it.
Yeah. And he's got the whatchamacallit. He's got the what the heck is the word I'm looking for? Oh, he's got like a blue and gray suit, which looks fantastic.
Like the 60s.
Maybe and like all the comics in the 90s that had that, then made it totally work, and then we switched it over to all black, and I get it. it was probably a lot of it was because of the movies, but like it's like, nah, this can be cool. It doesn't have to be silly. And like it looks great. I think he needs shorts, but that's it. Anything else stick out to you about this trailer?
I like the music. I think that's it.
I don't remember if there was music, but there probably was.
Yeah, probably.
What about you, Diggins? What was your favorite part?
I thought it was weird how they did a scene where everything slowed down and then they played a pop song while Batman went around and beat up people. Because I was like, Batman doesn't normally do this because he's not super fast.
Well, he is in this multiverse, I guess. You know, because this is the multiverse now.
I guess
all
so.
bets are off.
I guess so.
He's the speedster of this universe. I feel like there's usually one of those in these, but I guess it's Batman.
I got something that was weird.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really weird how they kept saying that people needed, or Batman specifically needed, to bury the past. You have to just take the past and bury it.
Because he's from Boston. You know,
Yeah,
that's Ben Affleck. He's not good at accents. It's peeking through a little bit. I think he's in his age. He's become a little bit more Boston-y than before.
You know what I liked? Actually, that was really cool. I liked when Batman was serving Dunkin' Donuts to all the people of Gotham. That was super cool.
That would be nice if Batman did that.
I like,
you know?
Yeah.
I liked when Batman sang Dunkachino.
I missed that internet Twitter account that would put Dunkachino every day. Daily Dunkachino, what happened to you?
No,
yeah, it left like a couple of years ago. He ran out of stuff
a while ago.
Yeah,
no.
It was good. It was a fitting end. But now that you mentioned it, I do want to watch one more. It was pretty phenomenal. So yeah, all in all, great stuff. By the way, did any of you guys convert to the Church of Jesus? Diggins, did you see any of these ads?
Yeah, these were insane.
No,
Wild.
I didn't watch the Super Bowl, so I didn't see any.
I know. So some of these made it online because they were the crypto ads of this year.
Yes.
Although there were probably a couple of crypto ads.
I did mean to mention, though, I did get told that I should ignore all the bad news, so I'm tripling down on my investments in crypto.
Well, I mean, now that all the people that are not bold have left, it's only the bold left, and fortune is going to favor you guys.
Now that all the FUDs are gone, all the great smart people who hodl are gonna get diamond hands, and everyone's gonna make it.
That's exactly right. And you know who else had some diamond hands?
Jesus.
A certain man from Nazareth. Yeah. So part of it, he used to cut because he's a carpenter. I don't know. That would be handy. Jesus could turn his hands into diamonds if he wanted, right? He's got magic powers. What's stopping him?
I wouldn't say it's magic, but that's fine.
Well,
Divine
he has
powers.
sure, he has the power to transmute other substances. So,
or to make food just never run out.
Yeah.
Or to
only when necessary.
Or to kill a fig tree if it annoys him.
Yeah, what if it's necessary? What if somebody tries to shoot, one of his apostles or whatever, and he needs to block the bullet with his hand?
Listen. I saw those ads. I don't want to make and when I say Jesus people, I don't mean people who believe in Jesus. I literally mean the Jesus people that made those commercials. The He Gets Us people. Those people seem to have some power. They were running 2-minute long Super Bowl ads.
Yeah, so Diggins.
Yeah.
So what were these?
For the uninitiated, so there was mostly, the one I saw when I was watching the game was a slideshow. Diggins, you know how our nation right now is a little divided?
I've heard that.
Cops yelling at people, protesters yelling at people that want them dead, stuff like that. And both sides have some good points. Mm-hmm. So it put a lot of those pictures up, and then they said, let's all be nice to each other. And then something, sentence that ends with us, and then the other words faded out, and then G's came from the side and made G's us. But it was very man, these Antifas and the cops can't get along. Masked people and non-masked people can't get along.
And it was Jesus loved everyone. Or Jesus loved those even who hated him. That was the idea of it all. Yeah.
It must have been Jesus loves us. It definitely ended in a kind of clunky way with the word us. Yeah. So that could become the G's, the part of the G's thing.
Right.
It's pretty good. I'm sure you can find it, but
by the way, these commercials have been around. They didn't first pop up at the Super Bowl, but that's like now that like everyone sees it. That's when you get your big exposure is the Super Bowl, right? So
was it advertising a particular church, or was it literally just like you should believe in Jesus?
It's an organization called like He Gets Us, and I was reading some stuff online, and they might be not great.
Really? Wow. I can't believe that, DJ. That's so shocking considering the only thing I know about them so far.
Yeah, I'll show you. I have a link. So this is the one that I'm talking about where everybody screams at each other. There's another one where the kid's like holding puppies. Probably an easier sell. But this one is just like people are yelling at each other everywhere in the world. And Jesus loved the people we hate. So that means you don't have to, I guess. I don't know where that, like, I guess it's like Jesus loved them, so maybe love them instead.
I mean, I will say, to their credit, they play some banging music during music. We're only human after all.
Oh, yeah, like, that song from the trailer for a certain Marvel event show thing that I can I'll never be able to decouple the two, which we will get to when we start talking about today's movie. But yeah, pretty good. Great stuff. Yeah. So I'm going to run out and join this church or whatever.
So here's all you need to know. One of the biggest supporters of the campaign, Diggins, is the Hobby Lobby co-founder.
Yeah. So are they mainly focused on smuggling artifacts out of Syria with the help of ISIS?
Is that a thing?
That is something they did. It's not their main thing, but it is.
It's a thing that happened.
That's
all their art,
fucking
everything
crazy.
in a Hobby Lobby was originally part of a Syrian temple, and they just take it all. All those things that say the word family in wood, part of it, ancient artifacts.
Oh my God.
They just don't give a fuck. I will say, Hobby Lobby they're not a good company. I was in a real bind looking for some good crafting materials, and they have so many more than the other stores. It's insane.
It's the Chick-fil-A problem.
It is.
Oh, okay, listen. It's not the Chick-fil-A problem because Chick-fil-A doesn't have the best anything.
That's fair, yeah.
Get out of here. Their chicken is on fire. Are you crazy?
I think it's so the best of the small chicken the fast food chicken sandwiches. I will agree with that.
Okay.
But, yeah, man.
But it's so easy to not have I don't think it's a major hardship to settle for the second best fast food chicken sandwich in your life.
Oh, I mean, for sure. This one was more like I went to every single craft store I could go to before I went to Hobby Lobby. And then the last thing, I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to check, see if they've got it. And they had every single thing I needed. Insane. Horrible line, though. So, management, not great.
Diggins, I need to be very, very clear with you. Pete Buttigieg said it was okay, so I feel like it's fine.
Right.
He also said you can go back to your homes, everyone. The air is clean. Nothing is wrong.
He also said the New York Times' coverage is perfectly fine. They haven't done anything wrong. And they should retract the letter.
Oh, yeah, they should retract the letter. That would be great. That would be fair. What a week for the Times. Anyway, you guys, speaking of time... Well, no, that's next week. Speaking of
almost
New York, speaking
almost.
of American cities, we got to talk about a movie that says a couple of them. I don't think they're really only in one. But
they start in the one, and then very quickly they're just on Libertarian Island.
Well, yeah, and that is supposed to be in America, though, right? I do think someone says that.
The beginning of the movie is America.
No, but the island, I think, also is in America.
Well, I think it's near America. It's in the ocean.
I could have sworn someone was like, we had to go because we're in America now. We're doing... I don't know. Either way, we're talking about a movie called My Hero Academia, Two Heroes. I think is that what it's called?
It's Two Brothers.
Two brothers.
No, it's Two Heroes. Or I hope it's
Two
Heroes.
I was like, who are the brothers? I missed all of that.
Is it doing the Rick and Morty bit? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been doing the Rick and Morty bit.
Yeah, no. Now you're canceled, DJ.
Fuck! Oh...
I hope it was Two Heroes we were supposed to watch, because that's the one I watched.
It was that one. I had to check a couple of times myself just to make sure that was the one that both I was told to watch and the one that I told you guys to watch.
That would have been so embarrassing if, we watched different movies, because there are multiple My Hero Academia movies.
It'd be pretty funny, too, if we got the wrong... if we did the summary and the summaries were just so wrong, but it was I think Diggins said the word hero, so technically he wins, but this... You guys really missed the mark on this summary. But yeah, you guys, this is the last of our movie debts besides the 2 that are scheduled because of other movies and things that come out. And the one
what are those 2 again?
Mr.
I
Bean
literally
thing,
can't keep track.
Super Mario and Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson, right.
Both of those are going to have things this year. So
And Johnny Stecchino, right?
And Johnny Stecchino, like I said, the evil Italian Mr. Bean or whatever. But yeah.
So we're saving that for when the Mr. Bean movie comes out.
That's right. Yeah. Remember when he made NFTs? That was funny. I want to get some now on the cheap. But yeah, so My Hero Academia, 2 heroes. Wait, the movie has the word hero twice in the whole title? It's like 5 words. You can't get another word?
No.
Oh, no. So this movie came out in 2018. Like I said, this is a pick from a fan who donated to one of our campaigns, I believe. Probably the
RRR one, because that's when we got like.
It must have been right.
The RRR campaign to support the abortion funds.
I couldn't remember if we'd done one since then, but yeah. So we did this one. It's it's an interesting one because, like we said, we haven't really done too much anime. I've never seen this show. Diggins has never seen this show. DJ is familiar with it. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna do our best. We all watched it.
We certainly are.
Yeah. And to start with that, I am the IMDb'sman, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah. All right, cool. Because I forgot all their names. Okay. So now I get to read them. It's good. Okay. So you guys, I don't know if you've heard the stories, you guys. Basically, there's a big pit in the whole Earth, and every so often there's a big monster that comes out of it and spits out a big summary of words, like it's like magnets, like the ones that go on a fridge, and they make a word, and then we read that word, and then we put those into an IMDb summary, and that's what we have here for you today. You guys, this one's okay. I think this one's pretty good. However,
okay,
it's on the shorter side, so I would keep that in mind.
Okay.
Who goes first?
Well, I'm on the most losing streak of all losers, so I get to pick.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I have to make Diggins go first.
I feel like every time
what's up?
one of us starts complaining about how big a losing streak we're on, I at the end of the year go back and check the record, and it was like 3.
It feels so much though.
It
Just
feels
like week in and week out.
I've done it too.
Yeah.
I'm not exempting myself from this.
It's so much. But yeah, anyway, so I will make you go first, Diggins. That's what
right.
I feel like I must do.
Okay.
All right, Diggins, go crazy.
When All Might invites Midoriya / Deku to meet an old friend of his at the incredible Island Gala, the heroes are forced to save the day from an unexpected intruder.
Okay. Yeah. DJ?
Probably pretty bad, but that's
So
I'm sticking with it.
before I go, I have to say I must applaud Diggins for just saying all of the proper nouns, just to ensure it's like if I put enough of the correct words in the essay, I'm gonna fucking get it. So I appreciate that, Diggins. I think you're awesome. Oh my god. Okay. That being said, I'm gonna do the same fucking thing, just a little bit different. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Midoriya and All Might must team up with the students of UA Academy to stop an evil threat on the hero-filled Island.
If you didn't say Island, I would have given it to Diggins.
No.
But because of that, you're pretty much tied.
Wow.
Like you both, I'm sure this is what it looks like. It's pretty much the same thing. What you both said, you just changed the order of some things that don't really matter. So I don't think either of you has won.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear what tiebreaker Nando comes up with for this.
Oh god, I didn't know.
I'm gonna give a look at the trivia, see if there's something.
There can't be any kind of. Were we that terrible, by the way? Did we miss the mark that much?
It's not that you were bad. It's that you both summaries were so similar. You both got the same things right, and you both missed the same things. There was a point, DJ, where it seemed like you were going to go in a direction. I was like, oh, that's a win it if he gets it, but he didn't.
Damn it.
Yeah, so, listen, I do not have, there's only 4 trivias in this thing, so that's not helpful. Let me see, you know what, there is a, no, because, you know what, no, I don't think I can give it to Diggins. I still don't feel good about it. All right, how about this? So IMDb, let me see if there's a tagline. Good fucking luck. But maybe. Nope, they don't even have it. Okay, so IMDb also gives a storyline, which is like, 4 or 5 sentences. Okay. This is for the whole movie. I want you to... Wait, hold on a second. Damn it. No, this is just kind of a storyline of what this movie is.
I was gonna say, is there like a good phrase or word in there that we could maybe get?
You know what? Not that, but there... Okay, so under storyline, you have a couple of, like, words, right? Anime, superhero, like words in little bubbles that are like tags, keywords, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So here are 4 of them. Superpower, My Hero Academia, anime, superhero. There's a 5th one that comes before the other 5, and I do think is good, is very specific to this movie, and is a phrase that I think is pretty funny. So I'll give you each as many guesses as until I'm bored. Take a shot at what, and this is a phrase, so it's a couple of words, but it is one thought and one like idea that is something that this movie is. I'll let Diggins go first.
Tower climb.
No. DJ?
Coming of age adventure.
No. I will say Diggins was closer. Diggins?
Okay.
Tower climb was closer, so it's something like weirdly specific that is a thing in this movie. Barefoot.
No, that's a good one. DJ?
Heist movie.
No. Again, Diggins is closer.
Really? With those 2?
Yep. So maybe just take it a step back. Be a little less specific.
I don't know, like teen romance?
No. DJ?
Like Die Hard? Like
That's right. Die Hard scenario is what this movie is. And it is a Die Hard scenario, isn't it? Like, I didn't really think about that. But that is what this movie is.
Yeah. They're not wrong.
Yeah. They even try to escape in a helicopter. There's a lot of Die Hardisms in this movie. You think about it.
This is just the Rick and Morty episode. Oh my God, we're doing a Die Hard.
It is. I'm surprised they didn't say it, but maybe they don't have Die Hard.
DJ, was one cancellation not enough for you?
Well, once you do one, you just have to do them all.
It's true. Well, apparently it doesn't really work on the show anymore. Hasn't since the 3rd season, so it's a little less bad. He's been doing that video game everyone hates. So you guys, DJ won because he said Die Hard, and Die Hard was what it was.
I accept this.
I will read you the summary. This is where we were. We were close on, but you were both kind of close. It's All Might and Deku accept an invitation to visit Island, where they battle against a villain who takes the island hostage. So neither of you said the word villain. You both said like evil thing, and neither of you said hostage.
I thought about that afterwards. I was like, I should have said villain. They can't stop saying the word
it is a technical term
villain
in this universe. Yeah. So with that ruling, DJ, the streak is broken. You have won the day.
Happy. I'm beyond thrilled.
You're beyond.
And as your reward,
goodness.
Diggins, you are going to explain what happens in My Hero Academia: 2 heroes while I get a soda.
Good luck. Wait, Diggins. Yeah. I want to offer you like an olive branch. Do you want me to try and give like a background of the world and then you do the like plot summary,
Absolutely,
or do you just want to do
not.
the whole thing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not.
All right, you got it, my man.
I have to assume this is what Nick wanted.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to do my best right now.
All right, you got it, man.
All right.
I mean, and in the movie, it starts with them kind of doing the summary. So if you want to do, because they give you enough information that you're not flying completely blind.
Yeah, which thank goodness.
Yeah. So basically, it's a world where most people develop superpowers. They call it quirk because this is an anime, and it has to have a weirdly specific proper noun that everyone uses. Anyway, so some people train to become superheroes because a lot of people with their superpowers decide to be evil and become villains. Oh no. So we've got our pals Deku and All Might, who are from the show / manga. Well, first we have All Might in his salad days as a student, going around being a hunky hero who saves some city in California from evil villains, and people are like, wow, who's this handsome stranger? And he's like, I'm from Japan, hello. But then we go back to the present where they're on a plane and All Might is a thin bone man because of reasons that are not important to this movie particularly. They're going to Island where they're visiting All Might's friend from that flashback, who's now a famous scientist who makes stuff that heroes use. And Island is the big, like, libertarian paradise floating island where all the scientists go to make the hero stuff so that villains don't kill the scientists.
Yeah, it's one of those, island, mental maturity, cryptocurrency, it's that kind of thing.
To be clear,
my God.
Libertarian paradise.
To be clear, these scientists are not particularly libertarian. I call it that because of how many libertarians are like, we should make a city on the ocean where we don't have to pay taxes.
Mm-hmm. And other stuff, too.
And other stuff. Anyway, they're going. There's going to be like
what happened to Crypto Island? Did that? I mean, obviously they didn't make it.
Yeah,
but
they crashed.
I mean, everything crashed. Is what happened to Crypto Island.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know. They're having a big gala for something that I'm not sure is ever made clear to us. And All Might has brought Deku along as his +1 because Deku's a special boy. Little green,
it's a special
little green Naruto. He's so cool. Anyway, it also turns out that every single one of his classmates are also here for increasingly thin reasons.
It's the team up. We had to get them all here.
Anyway, they meet
you
up.
like them, so they're here.
They meet up with All Might's old friend David Shields and his daughter Melissa.
That sounds right.
Who is somebody on the production team's fetish. And they like talk about David knows about All Might's condition where he's like dying because he gave his power to Deku, but nobody else knows that he gave his power to Deku. But also, again, this really isn't that important for this movie. While Melissa shows Deku and all his friends around, and they're like having such a good time, but when it comes time for the gala, villains interrupt. They take over the security system and take all the heroes captive and threaten to kill all the innocent people on the island unless they get to do what they want. So they force David and his assistant, Sam? I want to say Sam.
Sure.
To go upstairs and do the evil thing that they want. But all the kids didn't get to the gala on time because there were a bunch of dang kids.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't get captured, and they decide, Melissa tells them that if they get to the top floor, they can take control of the security system and release all the heroes so the heroes can save the day. So they decide they're going to do that. They start going up the tower. Piss baby Great Boy ruins everything for everyone. Gets them caught.
No.
And so they have to start fighting their way through stuff. Some people like sacrifice, quote unquote, themselves, by which I mean they stay behind and have cool fights with robots for a while as they keep going further and further up this tower until they get to the top when, it turns out that David, Melissa's dad, or her papa, as she insists. I watched the dub. I don't know about you guys.
I watched the dub as well.
I watched the dub as well.
All right. Well, if you're a sub purist, sorry.
I do believe
just to read
in
for
the,
90 minutes.
I believe in the in the request. They actually requested the dub version.
Oh well,
So,
perfect.
Oh,
we are correct,
look at us
and
purists.
we've fulfilled their will.
Great. We didn't do that on purpose, Nick. Just so you know.
Nope. We did it out of laziness.
I did it because it's what Stars started playing when I hit play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to Stars, by the way. Huge.
Yeah, Stars. The only place you can find it, nowhere else. No other options to get it.
This
is the only one.
That's where I watched it. I assume it's where we all watched it.
I mean, we're all heroes and not villains.
That's right.
We were all, yeah.
But yeah, it turns out that her dad arranged this whole thing because he wanted to steal some device that the governments of the world told him he wasn't allowed to build for reasons that are also not entirely clear to me. And so he wanted to get it back so he could give it to All Might to save All Might's life. But, it turns out that he thought they were just hiring actors who weren't real villains and wouldn't hurt anybody. But his partner went behind his back and hired real villains who do hurt people so that he could take the device and get famous and get lots of money somehow.
Son of a bitch.
But the villain triple crosses everybody and it's like, actually, I'm taking it for myself in an entirely predictable move, and tries to abscond with the device and with David so David can make more of them because he's a super genius man. At this point, the assistant has been shot in the shoulder and is bleeding out on the ground, and I don't think we ever come back to him, so I think he must have died.
So many things explode around him.
Yeah.
I can't imagine he got out of there.
Imagine
if he did, though. Yeah, he lived through the whole thing, and then the helicopter just hit him right as it was all ending. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that guy's dead, but we never see. Anyway, Deku goes to stop him as the villain's getting on the helicopter, like, ha ha ha, I am winning. And Deku doesn't succeed, but Melissa turns the security system off and all the heroes are free. So All Might jumps up and punches through the helicopter and straight murders everyone in it besides David, who he catches, and the villain, who lives. But there was at least one other person piloting it, and they're super dead. But the villain has put on the device, and now his quirk is supercharged, and he's very powerful, and All Might can't do a punch big enough. So he gets sad. But then all the other kids show back up, and they're like, All Might, we think you can do it. So All Might gets super powerful again, and he almost does a punch big enough, but it's not quite big enough. So then Deku gets super powerful, and it's like, All Might, I will help you punch even stronger. And then they punch together, and that punch is strong enough to beat up the villain.
They go plus ultra.
They go plus ultra.
Double plus ultra.
Yeah, a lot of moves, a lot of calling out your own thing as you do it in this, which was helpful for me, someone who didn't know anybody's things.
Right. Anyway, that punch is good enough. The villain is defeated. The device, crumbles to dust. David's like, I'm sorry I did a bad thing. And All Might's like, it's okay. And they're both like, but we know the future is in good hands. And they look up at Deku and Melissa, who are like, hooray, the day is saved. Deku blew his shirt off, though, and he's weirdly buff, and I don't like looking at it.
Well, I bet it's not the last time that happens. So.
I'm sure it's not. Anyway, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, basically.
I guess there's, post-credits scenes, sort of David in the hospital. I mean, not really. It's just, vignettes over the credits of, David's in the hospital.
Sure.
Melissa visits him. Deku and All Might, walk away, hero style.
Yeah, cool guys.
Yeah, cool guy hero style, walk away. Just stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't... The only thing I feel like, not like you missed, but didn't come up is all the fucking around in the middle of the second act where they all just, hang out, which is fun, but not that important at all, so it makes complete sense.
I skipped a lot of stuff that just didn't matter.
Yeah.
As you should.
And as you should, DJ, as the winner, tell us, what did you think of My Hero Academia, 2 heroes?
Oh my goodness. Okay, what did I think of this movie? I thought that this movie was I enjoyed it to the point of oh, this is fun anime. Look at all these cool guys blowing stuff up. Isn't this so fun? But I think in general it's an anime movie, it's kind of fairly unsuccessful. I think it meanders a lot in the beginning, and all the cool action stuff doesn't happen until the latter half. And I don't know the audience for My Hero Academia, but it's just everything is kind of like that. Oh, get on with it. I get it. We're all the best friends, and everyone's got to do their cool thing. But I'm just how much am I really supposed to be invested in all this nonsense? So it was tough. There's some characters I'm yeah, those characters are really cool, but others I'm I do not care about your existence. So it's tough. So I give it a solid 6 out of 10. It's where I landed with this movie.
Wow, 9 out of 10 from DJ. Incredible. It had its flaws, but it's the best thing it's ever been.
Absolutely.
Who's next? Me or Diggins? I can't remember.
Me,
it's
you go.
Diggins,
all right,
yeah.
Diggins, you're up. What'd you think of My Hero Academia, 2 heroes?
It's extremely shonen. It's very...
Hell yeah!
Which is to say, your DBZs, your Narutos,
yeah.
What else? I don't know. Bleach, is that a shonen? I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
My
what makes something a shonen?
The production company.
No,
okay.
Shonen is a specific, kind of genre of, basically stories that are meant for young boys.
Right.
And
I was thinking Shonen Jump.
They often feature, Shonen Jump is called that because it's supposed to be mostly shonens.
Right.
And they're like this, you know, they have lots of characters that have like different powers and are very like, you know, thing of the week kind of premises, stuff like that. I don't know. I probably said some wrong stuff. I don't know that much about anime. I pretend, but I don't.
He knows everything about anime.
Yeah, I think you know everything about everything.
You're the lead anime enjoyer of the podcast, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know. I feel like
unless it's one of the two animes I can tolerate. But yeah.
Sorry, what's one of the
I
two
said,
animes?
unless it's one of the two animes I can tolerate. I think you're definitely the expert of the other ones.
I feel like DJ has probably watched more anime in his life than I have.
I'm such a weeb.
That's true.
He is a weeb.
I know some gigantic weebs, so I've absorbed knowledge through osmosis.
So they touched you and gave you the handshake of power. Mm-hmm. You got all for one.
Yes.
Or whatever it is.
No.
For all.
One for all.
Yeah,
they mean the same thing.
I got
These
so
people...
confused about that. The only reason I know the difference is because I asked my friend.
It's so dumb. Not like dumb. Okay, it is dumb. Because I assumed when I watched this translates to something a little different in, you know...
Japanese?
Japanese, yeah. Because it's not like the Three Musketeers are saying, everybody work together, but mostly for me. Like, that's not what that phrase is. It means you help everyone. That's all for one. Like, you know, I don't know. Something.
Well, let tickets continue, and then we can talk about the nonsense between All Might's quirk.
Right, but... so it's extremely shonen, which is to say... There was some very anime stuff in this that annoyed me. Like the rival character who's always mad. I hated him. I hated him so much.
Oh, is that the two-tone kid?
No, that's Bomb Hand Man.
No, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. The one who was literally always angry for pretty much no reason.
Two-tone kid was also pretty angry for most of it.
No, he's edgy.
Yeah,
no.
Okay. I agree with DJ. Two-tone kid was
see.
edgy. Two-tone kid is the Gaara, while Angry Boy is the Sasuke.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And Deku
now that makes sense.
And Deku is Green Naruto. I've never watched Naruto, by the way. So if you're like, oh, Diggins watches Naruto because you made that reference, again, I've absorbed knowledge through osmosis.
I like how you didn't say that to clarify, there might be gaps in what I'm saying in terms of knowledge. Like maybe those aren't exactly right. You said it to defend yourself.
That's right.
I have to.
You wanted to think he's still a normal. He's not quite a weeb yet.
Because I was ready for you to say...
Pure.
I was ready for you to say, I haven't watched those, so I may be a bit incorrect with these analogies.
No, I know I'm not.
I haven't watched those, so don't judge me.
I know the things I said are correct. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so it has stuff like that annoys me. The requisite perv character. I also hate the great boy.
We'll get to it.
That being said, I felt like it was mostly what I would expect out of this kind of movie, where if I was a person who cared about this show, watched this show, liked these characters, I would be like, this is an enjoyable time with these characters I already like. I mean, I don't know them, and I don't like them. Not like they're all bad, but just like, this isn't the movie where you go to learn who these characters are. This is the movie where you go to watch the characters you already know, do some cool fight scenes with a better budget.
Yeah.
So, like, that made it a lot harder to enjoy that I didn't have that background. But for the most part, I felt like, I don't know, I watched the DBZ Super movies. I've watched all of those, and I enjoy those. And I was like, this feels roughly on par with what I'm getting out of those, except I know DBZ and I care about those characters. So, I wouldn't say I disliked it. It's just, it wasn't for me. I wasn't the audience, you know?
Right.
Wow,
That's you're Naruto only. That's what you're.
Actually,
and this wasn't quite Naruto.
I'm only Boruto, Naruto's son. I know the Naruto analogies because of when they talk about Boruto's dad, but I'm all the way on Boruto.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's my basic summary. It's a movie that's not meant to be an incredible standalone movie. It's meant to be a fun time with some characters you already like, and I think it does that fine. What about you, Nando? What did you think of the movie?
I thought, listen, when we were going into this, I was like, oh, cool, My Hero Academia. I don't really know what that is. I know it's got superpowers, and it is an anime. But, like, a bunch of animes have superpowers, including one of the only two I like. So it's like, well, that doesn't make this easier? Like, is this
Sailor Moon?
But it's not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not quite going for what I think One Punch Man is. So I'm like, all right, this is different. I've also, the only thing I know about this, because I know everybody has a different little superpower, which,
yeah,
sure. I'm confused. Is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure also something kind of like that, right?
Yes, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is also a shonen. So yeah, they all have stands that are superpowers. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is mostly notable amongst things like that for being extremely weird.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. And like, but when they started talking about quirks, I was like, wait a second, I thought that was the other one. Anyway, the only thing I knew about this was that this is also the thing that character All Might comes up from, and I know he's some sort of Superman pastiche that I've heard about, especially like when talking about Superman in comics. He's one of the ones that'll come up as like he's like Superman. So I wondered. I was like, listen, maybe I won't know who any of these guys are, but it will be interesting to see All Might in action. As long as he's not tied up on the floor or something for the whole movie, I'll definitely be able to get that out of it. But you never believe it, guys. He's tied up on the floor for most of the movie. Just kind of having thoughts to himself, like, I hope they save me. I'm just going to, I've got so much power. No, I mean, like, it's something. It's interesting. It is like... There's something about these where it's like they all have it's I don't know, maybe I'm a snob for superpower worlds. This world is bizarre, but in a way that's like some of them have very dull kind of like, yeah, that's your power. Punch real good, or you fire, and then some of them have really weird powers that I'm like, I don't know if that's a power. Like the guy whose legs are a car, that's not like a power, is it? But I guess it is. Yeah.
So that's the thing with this universe is that some of the quirks are like bad. Like there's some quirks that are just like super weak ass quirks, right? And like they're not very good. But like these people, they want to use their quirks to become pro heroes,
right?
Because Japan has like very strict laws about heroing. So like you can't just run around like using your quirk as a hero. So like the she's like sideline for this entire movie, but there's a girl who's just a frog. She's just a frog. She's like Frog from X-Men, but she wants to be a pro hero. That's like her thing.
You know what happens when a frog is hit by lightning?
What happens?
Actually, frogs are totally fine when they're hit by lightning. It's toads that the same thing as anything else.
It's different.
Right,
obviously, we all know what
fine,
happens when a toad gets hit by lightning. Yeah. But yeah, this one, I don't know. It was interesting. It did take a while to get going, so that by the end, or by the middle, I was like, yeah, something's got to happen eventually, right? And then it did, and it's like, oh, okay, I see what this is.
That's my biggest gripe too, Dando. I wish it got to the point like a little faster.
Or like, I guess I wish there was a little bit more, because I understand the idea, although this isn't speaking of Die Hard. Like, Die Hard does get to the point pretty quickly, but the idea that it's like, at the halfway point, we're going to have the kids have to do the thing. And that's when, like, everything really kicks off. I guess I just wish there was a little bit more of an indication that something was up earlier. Maybe just so I could be like, what is... Because there was a lot of this movie where it's just like, is this it? Is it just them going to the fair and, like, doing push-up contests and whatever? Like, what is... But then it became Die Hard scenario. And they punched and stuff. The lore of this movie is bizarre. And we're going to talk about it. I don't hate it. I don't like it more than the two I like. And you know what? I definitely don't like it more than like Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that other stuff that I watched when I was a kid that was anime. I think I like it more than like Kill la Kill and like the other ones.
Although, you might hate Kill la Kill more than anything else.
Yeah, that's my least favorite one. But also, this one does also go out of its way to be like, I'm 17. It's like, oh, come on. You gotta, like, what is it with you guys?
It's the age of consent in Japan.
This?
That's the age of maturity.
No.
Oh, okay. On Island. It's
all right. Just let everyone know. I didn't know that. DJ's the one who knows that.
Like, that's the... Yo, man, that's why that is. That's why in Transformers, they're all 18. Or they have the Romeo and Juliet card on them.
Right. They should have that in this movie, too.
Yeah. No.
Every anime should have the Romeo and Juliet.
To be fair to My Hero Academia, I do hear that it's mostly not like that, and this character that they do all of it to is an original character to this movie. So, I mean, we'll get to it, but I think someone on this production team is just a freak.
Perhaps.
Yeah, you actually might like My Hero Academia, Nando, because you do like superhero things.
Yeah, but
and I can see it being like, I enjoy this.
Will that make me more of a snob where I'm like, oh, they're doing this thing dumb? And I do think with whatchamacallit, with One Punch Man being, I would say, the best superhero anime thingy, with also the most, like, unusual cast of characters and, like, unusual powers and stuff like that, that setting this one up next to it, it's like, yeah, that guy's okay, I guess, but he's not as good as the guy with the bat. Or, like, it's just, like, it's hard to compare the two, I guess.
I think
he's no Moomin Rider.
No, he's not.
It's probably... even though the premises are very similar, I feel like it's not a good comparison because One Punch Man is primarily like a comedy anime that just sometimes has serious fights, and this is primarily a shonen anime with all the like tropes and stuff that implies.
That's true. But yeah, overall, not the worst thing I've seen today. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Wow.
Something for
it
everyone.
Had a lot of flaws, mostly flaws, but also 9 out of 10.
A little something for everyone, right, Nando?
Knowing
That's
what
right.
You've seen today, that surprises me that you say that.
I mean, they're both 5s. I would say this is a 5 for me in terms of, like, I get it. It's fun. There was parts that I liked. I really do think an All Might heavier one of these would probably be more my speed because he was interesting.
I think it could have done with just choosing a couple characters to focus on.
Yes.
If that's like their movie.
Yes.
Instead of trying to have everybody. Because like that's something that I think works really well for the super movies. Like the latest one was the Piccolo and Gohan movie. Goku and Vegeta are barely even in it. And it's like, yeah, it works because, we know that this is the movie where those two characters get their focus. And so we don't have to spend time like bringing everyone else in.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I have a wheel, you guys.
Oh my!
I got a wheel with 10 things on it. Things about My Hero Academia: 2 heroes. Do you guys want to give it a spin?
Yeah, let's do it.
More.
I want to talk all about the 2 heroes and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, however many heroes we get.
I mean, 2. That's it. There's only 2. Otherwise, why would they say that? Why wouldn't they say 18 heroes?
Guys, at the end of this discussion, we're going to have a serious talk about who the 2 heroes are.
Yeah, I agree.
Angela. That's the second hero. You guys, I got to spin the wheel, landed on the first one of these. This is one of mine. This is just let him have Vegas, All Might. The first scene is a big fight in Vegas, and I'm like, you're really putting out too much energy. It's clear All Might has some sort of condition or limited amount of resources. We can let Vegas go.
Well, that's not the case in this scene. This is in the past before that happens to him.
Yeah, he's totally good in this.
Oh,
part.
yeah, I guess that's true.
Also,
I still don't want him to save Las Vegas.
Also, he can't be
for
Vegas
outs.
because it says he's in California.
Yeah,
I know, but it's Vegas, right? Like they had like a scene that was like New Casino City or something.
I did
like that.
I did honestly look at it and be like, "Oh, Vegas," and then I was like, "Oh wait, no, they said California."
Yeah. It was an interesting opening of him fighting that thing, whatever it was. The guy on that big old...
where he took the place of the cowgirl and not Spawn.
What?
Look, there's 2 like American
the
heroes who are trying to fight these dudes at the start. One of them is a cowgirl, like a girl who turns into a big cow, and one of them is not Spawn.
Yeah. That fight.
Cowgirl is confusing, but yeah.
I mean, I don't think she stood much of a chance. I'm kind of surprised she even tried. Because for people that haven't seen it, they're just chilling out, just on vacation in California, sunny California, near all the casinos and such. And a big bank gets robbed or something, and this man, some sort of, weird villain dude shows up, and he's got bags and bags of money, and he's on top of some weird big frogman thing with 6 or 7 legs that's just jumping around everywhere and causing lots of chaos. It's like as big as a bus. And then
he's like $10 million or something like that. It was a lot of money they got.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's all insured. Just let him have it.
I know, right? Like, yeah. I mean, that's why this guy just hates criminals so much. He has to kill them. He has a bloodlust. But yeah, so then you're right. There is a not Spawn. That guy was weird because he had electricity powers, but he was not Spawn. He did look like Spawn, but yeah.
So yeah.
And then the bad guy had hands that turned into missiles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Or very good quirk. Very good quirk.
So, look, you got to talk about this, like, throughout the thing. Do you have a favorite quirk out of everyone we see in this? The one that you would actually want?
I mean, like, like, not to cop out, but like one for all is the best quirk, right? You become really strong and you can just propel yourself through the air and you're Superman, right? Isn't that the best one? The one where you're Superman?
I mean, it would be good. And I'm thinking, like, which one would be best in your everyday life and stuff? Like, it'd be fun for fighting monsters and stuff, but like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like as a superpower, it's okay.
I feel like
girl with ear jacks is fun. You listen to conversations and stuff.
I mean, clearly the most useful everyday power that we see here is girl who can like reach into her dress and pull out anything she wants.
Yeah. That's an amazing quirk.
I was gonna say, I do think she's kind of not like overpowered because she's not, but like that's a good one. I don't know if there's limits to it besides just she gets tired or there's certain things she can't pull out. But
I asked a friend about this. She has to like actually understand how the thing works for it to like function.
Interesting.
So like it's hard for her to make complicated things because she doesn't really understand how they work.
That's why like she has to pull out like an old school cannon, like from the Civil War to.
Yeah, that was weird. And then there's the one boy. Option. Yeah, the grenade hands boy. Like I think he's the worst. The one.
What? How's he the worst?
Well, no, you're right. Great boy is the worst. It's the one that I would not want the most. It would ruin my life. I got big grenade hands now. What am I gonna do?
I would think the thing that would ruin your life is jet feet boy, because then you got like he's big ass like stuff like your calves. Nothing will ever fit over your calves again.
But they do. He wears pants that he shreds when he opens his calves up. It does seem like he's able to hide it well enough that I don't think it's a huge issue for him. Also, like, was he their teacher or something? He looked much older than the rest of them.
I think he's just a bootlicker.
He's a student. He might not be in the same grade, but he is a student at Hero Academy, whatever it's called.
Just fucking loves the taste of boot.
It's pretty tasty.
I will say, so the way the quirk works is that like if it doesn't come up by the time you're 5, they send you to a doctor to figure out if you're quirkless. So like this kid, does he come out of the womb with like jet calves and this is his quirk?
Imagine taking care of a baby with jet calves.
Yeah.
It'd be nuts. You hope that the jet calves come when he's like older. It's like, oh, I've developed my jet calves, and they're not like out of the womb jet calves.
Or imagine taking care of the girl who can make anything float. That's a problem. There's some babysitters in outer space or something. But she's never freed.
It's sure these kids just like can't control their quirks. Or the one who's just invisible. It's just like, was she invisible from when she was born?
Wait, which one was invisible?
We see her for like 2 seconds, but she's in the hotel room with the frog girl and the little like demon girl.
I missed this one.
They're basically not in the movie.
It's crazy that they're in the movie at all, but there's like 2 scenes with them.
When you say they're invisible, is it like you can see the clothes but not the person underneath? Okay, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
She's wearing like a hoodie and like, drinking, juice or whatever, but it's but she is just invisible, so like it's not great.
Good for her. Yeah, that's a pretty weird one. It's bad if you can't turn it off for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, would you even want a quirk? Would you take the risk?
In a world where everyone has a quirk, I want a quirk. I don't want to be one of the 20% of people who are quirkless. You're just such a loser.
Wow. It sounds like somebody didn't really absorb the point of the movie.
I mean, like, I get there's like, oh, you don't need a quirk to be special, but come on.
But I mean, like
me, I need a quirk.
Yeah, that little kid who didn't get any quirks but then got one later was pretty good. So I don't know how this would have gone if he didn't have it. Probably not as good.
Not good. If he didn't have one for all, it'd be fucked.
Yeah. I found the hoodie girl, by the way. Yeah, it's just an invisible kid. Weird.
Yeah. She's just invisible.
Yeah. I spun the wheel again. You guys, it landed on one of mine. Inhumans. These are Inhumans. This is, right? You get powers at a certain age. Sometimes you don't get powers, and then you're an underclass, and your powers are usually shitty, or like not shitty, but like there's a lot of them where it's just like that's not better than nothing. And Inhumans is the trailer that uses that song from the Jesus commercials.
Oh yeah,
I'll never be able to forget it.
So you're saying that the My Hero Academia show is the worst show that Marvel ever made
so far? Yeah, we'll see. Didn't see any Secret Invasion trailer. There's no way to know.
It's true.
It's a secret.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about how that was the thing you were made the most upset by.
I was very upset. I was just like, I just want to know what that show is. what's going on. But
Well,
they didn't even have any trailers.
Sorry, Nando, it's secret.
It is secret. Maybe it's out right now. We missed it. I don't know.
Maybe.
So yeah, those are your Inhumans. I don't know. There were Inhumans in this.
Well, but there's no Terrigen Mists.
Yeah. So this is another question. Is there? So All Might does seem to be the agreed upon best one of these. He's their Superman.
He's the number one pro hero. Yep.
Yes. Is there is this the kind of thing where every movie there's a new guy that's better than him and then better than that guy and stuff?
I'm not fully caught up, but for now, All Might is like the number one guy. I'm sure at one point that isn't the case, but in fact, I'm pretty sure at some point that is not the case. But yeah, he is the number one guy. Yeah,
interesting.
Because he's Superman,
right? But then even with this Superman, every so often some new guy shows up and it's like, I'm Darkseid, and it's like, oh, cool. Because I guess it's weird to me because there's this supervillain, a Dr. Claw figure that sits around in this universe, and then there's the kid with the one for all for one power, whatever, and that kid is better than All Might, right?
So All for One is actually just a guy.
Yeah,
and there's also a kid.
Yeah. So wait, also a kid what?
Who's like a villain that works with All for One.
They're
different people.
Okay. Sure. I'm saying what I'm saying is All Might is not better than the green-haired kid now, right? The green-haired kid is the best guy.
Oh, sorry, you mean One for All.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so I asked a friend about this because I also didn't quite get it, and I still don't, but here's what he told me. So basically, One for All's thing, quirk, is like a double quirk. One is it makes you Superman. The second part about it is that once ever you can give it to somebody else. And I guess it doesn't go all at once or something. It's slowly going from All Might into Deku, and Deku's getting more of it and he's getting less of it, which is why this David measured him and was like, wow, your quirk is going down so much. How is this possible?
Yeah.
So it's just one quirk, and Deku has it, but All Might also still kind of has it, but he's losing it.
Interesting. Okay, that works. I'll accept that as an answer. Yeah. And then I spun the wheel again. This one's also mine. I promise mine aren't all of them. This is a question that this number was thrown out very quickly and never really talked about. Japan, we are told, has the lowest crime rate of any country.
Yes.
6%.
Uh-huh.
Everywhere else has a 20% crime rate.
Well, most places.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that 20% of every day is taken up by crimes.
Right. And I guess that makes sense if everybody has superpowers, but Jesus, this world is awful.
Yeah. Is the crime rate supposed to be 20% of this country's citizens are criminals?
Yeah. And I feel like that's what America would say then, too, depending on who's in charge. We got a lot of... They like to throw people in jail in this country.
I would say 20% of our population being in prisons wouldn't surprise me.
No, yeah. It'd be weird, but...
It'd be bad.
Yeah.
It'd be very bad.
It'd be bad. We might be close to 6. I honestly don't know. But the 6% crime rate in Japan still seems really bad. I guess the idea of a percentage crime rate, that's not how that usually gets described, right?
Yeah, what does that what does that actually mean?
I don't know.
Can we Google this? Can we Google the crime rates of countries right now?
Yeah, I mean, I can look up the word crime rate. I don't know what the number it will give me is.
That's true. It's 6% of what? The population.
I mean, right now I'm seeing it's victimizations per 1,000 Americans, but that's not a percent. It's 30 or something.
Yeah. When I'm getting percentages, it's percent increase or decrease over the previous whatever unit of time. It's not a static, our crime rate was 6.
Yes, exactly. But it was 6, and that's a good one, and 20 is a bad one.
I mean, it sure sounds bad.
It sounds awful. What's the crime rate in Australia?
100%. Everyone who's in Australia is a criminal. That's the whole point.
Exactly. So,
I wonder what their quirks are like. I wonder what Australian quirks are like.
I guess it also doesn't seem so we have superheroes, right? When that big guy with the guns for hands and his frog pet or whatever, when they rob the bank, those two superheroes show up. But there's other people. Why aren't they doing anything?
Well, because they might have no quirks or bad quirks, or I don't know what America's rules are, but if you want to use your quirk to be a hero, you need a license. You can't hero quirk without a license.
I guess in California you might.
But in Texas, it's like
Texas,
whatever.
Yeah.
You use your quirks amok.
Yeah.
A bad quirk. The only thing we can deal with a bad guy with a quirk.
It's a good guy with a quirk.
Is Ted Cruz fielding interviews in this universe where someone's like, how come every other country keeps its crime rate down at 6%? Only in the U.S. do you frequently have school quirkings. And Ted Cruz is like, never. Oh, shut up. America's great.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Ted Cruz, I spun the wheel again, landed on another one. Where was Godzilla during all of this?
Oh my gosh, where was he?
Where was he?
That one kid's quirk is Godzilla.
So can we talk about this hero
Yeah.
or like whatever? He's Godzilla, right?
Well,
Like,
his name
that's what
is
he is.
Godzilla.
That's right.
Sure.
And I think he's a
Godzilla.
full blown hero. I don't think he's a kid. I think he's an adult.
Right.
And his quirk is that he's Godzilla.
Does he transform into Godzilla or is he just Godzilla?
It's not clear.
Don't know.
We only see him as Godzilla. But it's just in a scene where Melissa is showing Deku around, and they see Godzilla in like a lab coat. And Deku's like, wow, it's Godzilla. That's incredible. And where the hell was he when things went down? He's as tall as the tower. He could have solved this instantly.
It just feels like that, and also, like, it wouldn't be that exciting to see Godzilla, you know? It would be something you see frequently if he's in your country. Oh, there he is. There's Godzilla going again. He's the size of Godzilla. He can't hide. He's not in New York City. What is he doing?
I think you watched a little movie called The American Godzilla, 1998 or whatever, that would posit that actually Godzilla can easily hide in New York City.
That's what I'm saying. It's the perfect place for Godzilla to hide, New York City, but not Japan. Nowhere but New York City is Godzilla, able to hide. So I just don't understand it.
The reason I wanted to know if Godzilla is like that or can transform, because that's another one where it's like, was he born a little lizard baby boy? Or, something else happened?
Yeah, the Honey, I Blew Up the Baby kind of scenario where it was just like a 400-foot tall baby.
Was he born as that freaky, squirming tadpole thing from Shin Godzilla?
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one. That movie's cool. So, yeah, one of them's Godzilla. It's pretty good. Do you think there's other Godzilla-ish guys that he just deals with? And it's like, there's like a Rodan and stuff? Or do you think he also deals with like the frog guy who steals cash from the bank?
Well, the frog guy
the quirks must
gets big, too. He could fight the frog guy.
I feel like he would smack the frog guy up so quick. Wouldn't even be an issue.
Well, the quirks must overlap, right? There's no way it's all unique quirks.
That's true. So you think there's a good and a bad Godzilla man?
There can be several Godzilla men running around.
And Godzilla women? And any Godzillas for that matter.
Yeah.
Like in Godzilla 2000. It's a lady Godzilla.
That's true. Are quirks genetic?
Yeah.
Oh, are they?
It's well, okay. The fire ice guy, two-tone man.
Mm-hmm.
His dad is like awesome looking. By the way, hold on. Let me pull up a picture of Todoroki. His name is his dad. But I think he's like his dad was fireman and his mom was ice lady.
Oh,
Just like the Pixar movie.
That's right.
All right, look at this like savage guy. This guy. So this is two-tone man's like dad. Look at this guy.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Right.
This is a great segment for our audio podcast.
It's a guy with fire all over him, including a
NG
beard and
Todoroki.
stuff.
Just look up NG Todoroki. He goes by Endeavor. That's his name.
I like it.
He's got a little fire.
So you're
So-
telling me, yeah. So you're telling me you can inherit your families, but not always.
It seems like Todoroki did. Because his mom is mom is ice, dad is fire.
Huh.
So yeah,
Interesting.
And that's why, by the way, I don't know if you caught this, but he mostly uses his ice powers because that's like he's like got issues with his dad, and he's just like using his fire powers because that's like from his dad. So at one point, Deku goes, "Todoroki, you're using your fire power." It's like a big deal because he doesn't always like using his fire power.
I did
I
catch
see.
that, but I figured it was like, I guess the firepower hurts him or something.
It's like an
Yeah.
emotional pain.
Well, we all deal with emotional pain all the time, Todoroki, so why don't you get over it?
Right? Such a drama queen, Todoroki. I feel like, that's interesting. Does that mean a Godzilla man could have a child with a human woman?
I guess.
I mean, he is so like they're all humans. All the people with quirks are humans. So Godzilla is a human.
But like, if he's a big Godzilla the whole time,
I mean, logistically it might be difficult, but genetically, I guess.
he has human DNA, right? So that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's no like dogs running around with quirks.
Yeah, maybe there are though. I don't know. I haven't watched it. You haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, maybe we're super wrong.
That seems like something that they could do if they get bored. Is like also all the pets have quirks too. Speaking of that, I spun the wheel again, landed on one of Diggins's, and this one just says, "And I'm here too." So let's talk about the other kids. We've talked about most of them, but there are a couple that we haven't. Yeah. Who else is there that we haven't mentioned yet besides the one boy, which we'll talk about next?
Let's go through this systematically, because there is a point, I want to say like a quarter into the movie, where it's just like 10 solid minutes of, and this person's here, and this person's here, and this person's here.
Yeah. Yeah, that is what happens. It's weird. But yeah, so first one is, besides the main two, who do we get first?
I think we get Explosion Hands first.
No. First we get the girls.
Oh, right. Yeah. So there's the Levitate girl who has a crush on Deku. There's a girl who can manifest stuff, which is, again, we said, like, probably one of the best powers. And then there's
another girl.
Oh, Earjack girl.
Earjack girl.
Right.
Yeah, they all show up like they're big bullies who are going to make fun of Deku and that he doesn't like them. And then it turns out they're perfectly normal friends who get along fine. And I was like, what was that intro about?
Yeah. It's weird because, like, some of it was like, oh, man, these girls, I can't even, like, I'm bad at being with girls. But, yeah, that isn't really what happens. It all mostly goes well. He seems popular, well-liked. Nothing really wrong with him at all.
Because he's the good boy. Yeah,
he's the world's last good boy.
Yeah, everyone loves. What's his actual name? Because no one calls him by his superhero name.
What is his superhero name?
Deku.
That's Deku.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was like an English-Japanese one where it was like different versions of the name and different because I was confused about this.
Midoriya,
right?
Izuku Midoriya,
and specifically, what's his name? All Might calls him Young Midoriya. Like he uses the word "young." Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, he's just.
I believe so.
Yeah, you know, like if Batman was going like, "Well, young Robin," it's like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it makes total sense. I just wasn't sure if I was hearing it wrong, and if I was hearing like he's actually saying like his first name and then, but like or something like that. Because nobody else called him that. It sounded like that. But yeah. So those are all the girls, except for the girl that has no quirks, who is the nerd. Which we'll get to.
Well, she's already here by then. She's the daughter of All Might's friend, and she's like a main character in this movie, but also an original character who's not in the rest of the series. She's like an inventor or something.
Yeah, she's so good.
But then, okay, so then we've got the boys. Grenade Hands.
Duh, boys. Grenade Hand Man?
Yep. What's his deal?
Well, no, next. That's not who's next. You guys, you don't remember the movie.
Oh.
Next up, we see
not at all.
Grape Boy and Lightning Boy as waiters at the cafe.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, forget about Lightning Bolt Boy. He didn't really do too much.
Yeah.
He had his little Lightning Bolt moment, and then he sucked.
And it didn't even do anything.
Yeah, he's not good at it.
It didn't knock out the drones, and it made him stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird.
Awful.
So,
but yeah,
they're like, oh, we're also here. I forget why the girls are there. One of them just had tickets. I don't know.
I think the reasons for why they're all there, it like doesn't matter at all. Yeah. It's so dumb.
The boys are
like, to your point.
Sorry, you go, Nando.
I was just gonna say it might be better if there weren't all there. Like a slightly smaller crew would have probably helped this movie out.
Here's who you needed, right? You needed Bomb Hands Man. You needed Fire Ice Guy. Todoroki, the best one, and you needed the like turns arms into like stone guy.
Oh yeah, that guy. I forgot about him too.
And maybe Rocket Booster Man. Him maybe.
Yeah, he felt like he had the most utility during the fights and stuff. But I agree. Yeah. I don't think we really needed to have that character here.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, he was pretty sick.
So. Yeah.
And maybe Floaty Girl. Maybe her.
Nah, get rid of all the women, right? DJ and Diggins. No women in this, just men, boys for boys. That's what we want.
That's exactly it, man.
What about girl who's able to manifest stuff? Just that's like pretty useful.
I think they're all useful. I don't think any of them have any defined archetypes that I could tell would be more or less useful in a story.
Yeah.
They're all just kind of the same to me. So I don't know.
Look, this isn't really a plot designed to bring out their personalities. It's designed to be like, this is the character I know. Hooray.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so Great Boy and Lightning Boy are had decided to volunteer to work at the cafe. I guess a thing you can just do on this like top secure island for scientists. I don't know.
They need workers. They need labor. Labor's so hard to come by.
So just take anyone, I guess.
The answer is yes.
And then they also are reprimanded by the bootlicker Jetfoot Boy for reasons, I think, just because he's a bootlicker. I don't think he is working there.
See, this is why I thought he was a teacher. But he's just drawn so differently from the other boys.
Well,
it's possibly because the schools, but isn't
like
in their grade or class.
No, what you're running into is a common phenomenon by which the range of what an anime teenager can be is so vast that it can be difficult to discern who is meant to be a teenager and who isn't.
Yeah, and I just figured there would be a teacher because it's a school, but it's not. This isn't taking place in the school, but I still feel like Mr. Feeney would show up at the theme park too. Well, but I don't know.
All Might's a teacher, I think.
That's All true. He is a teacher, yeah.
Also, okay, I figured this out. He is in the same class as everyone else, Class 1A, but he's the class representative. So he's like the big old nerd.
Huh.
So does that help? Does that make sense?
A little bit.
I mean, it doesn't really explain why he looks like an adult man and the others don't, but...
Yeah, like, I get the characterization, though. Like, that explains what they were going for with him. So that was handy.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, then they...
I mean, he does have a sick-ass power.
Then they hear a big explosion, and it turns out Bakugan, or whatever, is...
Bakugan? I think that is his name.
Wait, that is his name?
I think so, yeah.
But Bakugan is something else, right?
Like, yeah, it is like a first name, but I'm pretty sure his name is Bakugan.
Nice.
Well, know that I didn't get it right on purpose. He's doing some trial thing that they have here, some arena stuff, where he gets to try to be a cool guy. Him and Rock Hands Boy are both doing it. And Bakugan is like, "Grr, I'm mad for no specific reason. I'm never going to stop shouting. I hate you, Deku." And I'm like, oh boy, I'm tired of this guy.
He really does hate
Nah,
Deku,
he's
though,
great.
So
he's great. No one understands him. He's so misunderstood.
Well, fortunately, there's not that much of him in the movie, so I don't...
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't leave too much of an impression.
And then the Fire Ice Boy shows up also. And I guess they're all... Wait, no, it's like Bakugan is there because he won some tournament back in Japan, and that gets him a ticket to come here. And he took Rock Hands Boy as his +1. And then Fire Ice Boy is also there for reasons I don't remember.
Was it because his dad or something? Was that... Or... No, someone else had a family member who was
that's why Bootlicker's there. It's because he's from a famous family, and they were invited.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, when the fire guy had a friend who was the bazooka hands guy, it's like, you're both fire then. This is too many powers to keep track of. One of you has to be one.
He's only so much fire.
It's so confusing, though. Not like it's a little confusing. It's not that confusing.
But also, quirks are going to overlap, right? If 80% of the world's population, so what's that? That's like 5 billion people. Like, right? You're gonna.
That's a good point.
There's gonna be a lot of overlapping quirks.
Yeah. Let's see.
And
then that's it, right? Those are all the kids.
That's all the kids, yeah. And then just because we couldn't possibly do without them, because the waiter boys aren't invited to the gala like everyone else. Melissa is here's some extra tickets to the gala so that we get to spend more fucking time with Great Boy.
What's your problem with Great Boy? Are we waiting for Great Boy?
We're waiting for Great Boy.
All right, we'll wait for Great Boy because you got some issues with Great Boy.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's next on the list. So, I spun the wheel again. I landed on that one. I do not like the Great Boy. He is from a different show. I don't know.
What is wrong with Great Boy?
The Great Boy
is bad, right?
Is terrible because his one personality trait is that he's a huge pervert, which sucks. And then his other personality trait is that he's a huge coward who sucks.
He rises to the occasion when necessary.
He rises to the occasion when he's promised kisses from girls.
Yeah.
What a noble aspiration. We should all be so lucky.
Yeah, I can't pretend I'm better than Great Boy, especially in high school. You get me to do anything. But I'm curious, though, what is Great Boy's power even?
Hit sticky balls from his hair. That's his power.
Infinite ones.
Well, there is a limit, right? He can't throw them forever, else he gets, like, big hurt.
But it's not just like there's 10. It's like a lot of
There's
them.
an amount, yeah.
And then regrow.
Yeah. It's a really bad power. It's got to be the worst one, right? Even worse than invisibility, maybe?
There's some utility, I feel like.
It's just
I don't know. I don't think it's the worst one. I think there's other worse quirks. It's the invisibility. That's the worst one. You're just invisible.
Yo, DJ, but you can just be invisible whenever you want.
You have to be naked, though. If I really wanted to be, like, truly invisible, I gotta be naked.
That's
and
true.
then we've been over this with the Invisible Man thing. Someone's just gonna throw paint on me or put down flour or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
it's
no.
like, oh, you're not invisible
You'd be
anymore.
super
Yeah.
defeatable, DJ. It's not even a question.
I don't know. I don't believe. I think I would lose a fight.
I don't know. I think I could take him. I don't know if I could take any of these kids except for Great Boy. I think I could kill him.
He would throw the sticky balls on you. You'd be all disoriented.
I mean, it'd be weird, but then it's like, if that doesn't kill me, he really doesn't have any other options.
I mean, I would just mention to him that girls exist, and then he would do a big dumb anime face and start bleeding from his nose, and then I could just kick him in the face.
That's true. What do you think? What do you think he grew up like? Like, what was it like being Great Boy?
I mean, he was probably like a school bully, like, haha, I have a quirk, but then like you go to Hero Academy and it's like, oh, you're the loserest of the bunch. He probably went from like big fish in small pond to small fish in big pond, and that would probably hurt his ego. So that's why he's got to impress girls. That's why he feels like he has to impress girls.
No,
I didn't make up this character's backstory. I have no idea. Maybe that wasn't his lived experience, but
You said 80% of the population. I don't imagine he went to a school that was mostly people without quirks.
Well, maybe bad quirks. Like, his quirk is better than some quirks.
Name several.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right,
about
so
that.
you could have a quirk where you could, like, make your fingers a little bit longer. You could have a quirk
Are these
where
real examples?
No, I'm because anything could be a quirk.
Get out of
I don't
here,
have real
then.
examples of bad quirks.
Get out of here with your lies. I want cold hard facts.
So you want me to find in the My Hero Academia universe, like, what are quirks that just suck?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I don't know if there's like a list of worst quirks.
There has to be. There's no way there's not this article.
All right, list of the worst quirks.
I think Great Boy's up there. I'm going to take a wild guess.
I don't know why you guys are. Nando, I think if you were to fight Great Boy, you would lose.
No,
Impossible.
I
First of all,
really
he's
do.
like 10, so that wouldn't be...
I'm with Nando for the first time ever. Nando could beat Great Boy.
Yeah, I could kill Great Boy. Oh my god, I'd use the grapes to beat him up. You know, he'd throw some of his grapes at me, and they'd stick to my hands. It's like, all right, buddy, and then just bam, grapes all over.
But by the way, Screen Rant has a list of the worst quirks. Ready? Here's an awful one. Hantosera tape. He has the ability to shoot tape from his elbows. What?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well,
How useless is that shit?
What kind of tape?
Oh, that's true.
This is tape.
Like if it's scotch,
I don't have,
if
like,
it's
the
like
details.
scotch tape, yeah, that sucks. If it's like duct tape, you could do stuff with that.
Yeah, or like packaging tape.
Even so.
That would be handy.
Oh, here we go. Ready? Here's the worst one. There's a guy who his quirk is he has to flash you so he feels shame, and that powers him up.
Hold on.
To do what?
Hold on. Yeah, first of all, powers him up to do what?
Fly?
And secondly,
Also, I think he lied to you, DJ. I don't think that's this guy's quirk at all.
it sounds like what
it's
he
real.
needs is to feel shame. I think he added the
Yeah.
flashing part himself.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Like, he could have done anything to make himself feel ashamed.
Yeah. Start a podcast, kid. That's how the rest of us do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, ready? Ready?
About it.
Teru's quirk allows him to increase his power when he is embarrassed. Teru activates his quirk by removing all his clothes and exhibiting himself to become extremely embarrassed by the populace.
What power, though? Like,
it doesn't say.
I don't understand. Like, he just like whips it out and is, I'm even more powerful than before, you guys. Like, okay.
Do you think
you pick something up? You're gonna fly? What are we working with here?
do you think it gets bigger?
That's a
Well,
quirk.
there you go. That's the worst quirk. Congratulations, guys. We found it. We found a worse quirk than Great Boy. Great Boy actually is a pretty good quirk, honestly.
I mean, but again, if you like do superhuman strength, at least it's something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just feel like Great Boy is.
If this guy gets superpowers, like Superman superpowers, via getting ashamed, then if I had that quirk, I'd be the strongest man on Earth.
Exactly. See, that's a great point. And in the part in the movie where Great Boy is valuable, he has this one little moment where it's like, we need someone who's really small and can also climb walls. It's like, I don't think we do. Two of you could fly. Just have one of them do it or something. Also, two of you are pretty small. He seems redundant, I guess, in this group. I don't see why we need him at all. Besides,
I get it.
For it to be a
You don't
little
need
pervy
him,
guy.
and he sucks. He's
Yeah, he
he's the
does suck.
requisite anime perv character who's just always trying to be like, oh, I want to see a girl's boobs. And I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want any of this.
And it's weird, too, because I will say, compared to other shows that I've been forced to watch, it's not so bad with the fan serviciness, except for, like, those characters, right? Like, if you cut him and the girl that can make anything out of whatever, it's a pretty reasonable show about children.
Really?
Like,
Are you sure about that? Well, the show, maybe. Are you sure
Like-
that there's maybe not one other person who would need to be cut from this movie?
I guess, like, in terms of just looking at them and going, oh no, this is going to be trouble. Like,
Fair.
because when all the girls have their outfits, because they all have, like, superhero outfits and I guess, like, plain clothes, but the superhero outfits for the other girls are pretty normal. But the main girl has, like, a weird, I don't even know what it is, but, like, the one that was talking about with the cannon and the bombs and stuff, her outfit is insane. It's like she's from Kill la Kill. None of the rest of them are.
Yeah, she's wearing like an open kimono.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think it is some
really
kind
does.
of like Japanese thing, like some kind of traditional dress that like means something. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Hey, guys.
yeah,
Can I read you something?
I would love to hear it.
This is from the Screen Rant article. So Minoru Minata, the guys you were fucking just shaming, his
We
quirk is
better
called-
not have been shaming him.
This, no, wrong guy.
Oh, different guy? Which one? Great Boy?
The Great Boy, yeah.
Great boy.
So,
Sucks.
so his quirk is called Pop-Off. So this is from the article. Minoru Minata may be My Hero Academia's primary source of comedic relief, but he is also one of the most useless in terms of ability. Minata's quirk allows him to pull sticky purple balls off his head and throw them at enemies. If used well, the balls can incapacitate the enemy by rendering them unable to move. However, Minata's quirk is only useful in extremely specific circumstances and is not well suited for hero work, as quirks such as One for All, Half Hot, Half Cold, or Permeation. Plus, his small stature makes him unimposing in one-on-one encounters.
Exactly.
I can't believe this. Which one of you wrote this article?
I mean, I didn't even know any of these things about him. I also forgot that it is just his hair that also looks dumb. Like, even if it wasn't a superpower, it would just be a look I wouldn't want to have to deal with.
That's true. That's very
He's
true.
got to go. But speaking of the other person, Diggins, who I spun the wheel. It says who on this production team is a freak.
Well, okay. So I talked about the character of Melissa, right? David's
Right.
Yeah.
David, All Might's old friend, his daughter, who's 17, as DJ pointed out, the age of consent in Japan.
I should say, not the age of consent, the age of maturity. I should be more clear.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it's important.
Whatever you say. I read it as like, because that was a problem though. If you just showed me that character, I could believe it's a 10-year-old, 13-year-old, 17-year-old. Like a lot of these anime characters, like we're saying with the teacher, air quotes too, the scale is so hard that I actually would like them all to introduce themselves. I am 17. I am 12. Like that would be good for me.
But yeah, so she enters the movie wearing like a schoolgirl uniform, even though she's supposed to be American. But it's a perfectly normal schoolgirl uniform. And is like fine. And I'm like, all right, this character's kind of strange that we're doing this like weird not romance with Deku in this character, but I don't care. And then it comes to the gala, and she's wearing this like super skimpy dress. That
I forgot about this.
Really doesn't feel like the thing this character would wear at all. With these big high heels and everything. And then it really gets off the rails. Because when they're doing the Die Hard and going up the tower, she just like progressively like gets more beat up. She loses her shoes, so she's running around barefoot. Villains are constantly like smacking her or slashing at her, or she's falling down rubble, and this is all like lovingly rendered as we see her like tumble to the ground in close-up. She like so absurdly does the full-on anime girl run, where she's like arms up and tucked in, like and like feet flailing every time she has to get somewhere. It looks ridiculous, and it's just like, listen, I know how anime be, and it does bother me often, like does Nando. But there are times when I can be like, if I'm enjoying something, I can be like, this is in here, and I'm just gonna deal with it, which is what I started with this character. But it happens so much that eventually I was like, whose thing is this? Who on the production team demanded this?
Well, like, so what would the thing even be, you know? Just like, I like it when girls fall down.
I like
is that
it
a
when
thing?
girls get hurt.
Yeah. I feel like, to me, when she showed up at there was a good 5-minute stretch where I thought this was a new character. When she showed up at the dance or whatever. Like, I was like, oh, is this a fucking another one from school? I don't know. I missed a couple of their introductions already. I thought the Fire and Ice guy and the Fire guy were the same guy for a second, so I was willing to let this go too. And then it turns out she's the daughter of the scientist one. Yeah, it was weird. Remember how she invented the bracelet thing or whatever it is, wrist guard?
That lets Deku punch better.
Remember how we had to watch that flashback twice in case we forgot?
Yeah,
that was weird.
In this 90-minute movie, in case we forgot the things that happened.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, listen, that character was fine. She's another one of those characters like this who was just like not really much to her in general. Just kind of agreeable, you know, likes to do science and stuff. But like the other girls and the other boys too, but the boys are all idiots. Like they all have these stupid great boy personalities. But at least with the other ones, you're like, oh, this is the nice one. This is the mean one, whatever. But yeah, she's just kind of also there.
Yeah, her personality trait is just she's nice to everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's like, in a show like this, I couldn't tell if she was supposed to be a romantic, like, actually a romantic character for the boy, or if she was supposed to be kind of a fake out, and then there's a real romance character in there that I haven't figured out who it is yet.
Well,
but
they definitely...
I don't know.
I mean, she's this only in this movie, so I feel like the plan was never to, like, fully do it. But it feels like something they put in so they can be like, all right, shippers, maybe some of you like this. Go write your fanfics.
Interesting. I assume this was her, like, you know, Duke Devlin moment where she just showed up.
So this is a thing that anime does a lot, which is that this is a movie that takes place in between events that have already happened when it was made. So it's like going back and being like, hey, during this period in the manga that you didn't see, this is a thing that happened.
Interesting. Okay. That, I did not know that.
Yeah, so...
Good to know.
So yeah, she doesn't show up again. She's gone.
Cool.
But yeah, no, and that's part of what makes me feel like somebody on this production staff was a freak. Because it does kind of feel like someone was like, well, I identify with Deku, so I'm going to make my perfect, smart, hot girlfriend for Deku to hang out with during this movie.
Right, yeah. I agree.
DJ, thoughts?
Yeah. So, it's interesting, right? Because, Dingus, you said that, like, My Hero Academia isn't really known for doing this in general.
As far as I know. I could be wrong. It does have Great Boy, who sucks.
It does have Great Boy, who sucks. Says you guys.
And that article.
That's true. And Screen Rant. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I agree that it felt pretty gratuitous. I guess I'm I don't know if I'm made numb by it from my extensive anime watching. I'm just like, yeah, man, this is what happens.
From watching every episode of Kill la Kill.
Exactly. Honestly, that will rot your brain in a way where it's like, isn't this what's supposed to happen? Come on now. So that's honestly pretty fair.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen,
I don't know if it's fair.
I'm not
but
trying.
It sounds like an explanation.
I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yums. I'm just saying.
Yuck those yums. Yuck
That's
them up.
my
Felt
job.
weird to me, especially
Yuck 'em.
when this character is explicitly identified as 17.
Yep.
You know this. You know how Nando likes One Punch Man because it doesn't have any of like the fan servicey stuff.
Except for one mosquito lady.
Except for the one mosquito lady. It would be weird if Nando went to watch the One Punch Man movie and they threw in a bunch of fan service and faked him out. Like, what?
Yeah,
I thought I
right.
was escaping this.
We're
I
in
think
the big
that might
leagues
be
now, buddy.
This movie wasn't getting funded if you didn't include a little something
Yeah.
for the freaks out there.
I guess too, like, it's different. I guess it would be different with One Punch Man because it is tough. Like, you know, it's weird. It's weird looking at, like, watching children's animation that is directed to children. One Punch Man, I would say, is directed towards, like, 20-ish year olds to, you know, very old people. But, like, it's fan service, but it's supposed to be a 17-year-old character, but it's supposed to be a show watched by 13-year-olds. So it's, like, less weird, I guess. But it's still a little weird, but, like, I get it. I mean, Kill la Kill is still no excuse for that one. But, like, with this one, I don't know. I see what happened.
I mean, Kill la Kill is... It's just because the boys at Trigger can't help themselves. They're like, we gotta put this shit in here, guys. It's the fucking rules.
Yep.
So, you know.
I spun the wheel again. This was one of mine that was on the wheel, but we already talked about it. It was just the cannon girl. Did she pull that entire Civil War cannon out of herself? Or did she build it piece by piece?
That's a good question.
I have to assume she pulled it out of herself.
Like, so she's got like a Mary Poppins bag kind of situation going on?
Yeah, but it's her body.
Right. Well, yeah. So, like, that's pretty awful. I guess it makes sense for her why she has the least clothes on. It's because you need sometimes to pull a whole cannon out of your whole body, and you know you want to have a lot of flowing options going. I feel like, what do we see her pull out? She's got the cannon, ammo for the cannon, which is very funny.
Yeah.
And then a little like explosive device thing or something that she uses to blow up the ceiling vent. And
it was like a whole grenade, which like I know it's like, oh, she needs to know how this works. It's like, how did she know how that shit worked?
Could she do it with money? Or does it have to be a machine?
Ooh.
What about a money printing machine? Watch a lot of documentaries and figure it out. Go take a couple trips to the mint. Come back with a very detailed schematic. Because I do think for that reason, her power is also the best one.
Yeah.
It is extremely useful. Like, I don't know if it's the best power for fighting supervillains, but it would be the best power for me living my life.
Exactly. And I think it would be okay with some supervillains. Like, a cannon can probably kill most supervillains.
I don't know. The big guy from the beginning who destroys Las Vegas, California, you think a cannon could have taken him out?
Well, yeah, that would be
real
trouble.
powerful.
So this is why, you're not as
or
good as...
Godzilla!
I don't think...
Cannon's taking out Godzilla.
Godzilla is tough. I feel like honestly, I feel like she's in Everything Everywhere All at Once situation where she just has to figure out what she needs to take out, like what their weakness is, you know, to like satiate them or whatever. But yeah, so for that reason, she would be my first like pick for the kickball team if we're going to fight a supervillain, because it's like we never know what we're gonna need. We're gonna bring her.
Yeah,
but yeah, fair. She does seem to get tired when you ask her to get like a bunch of ammunition for the cannon, which was good.
I do gotta say, like, I know that they're trying to not damage the servers, although some of them are trying harder than others.
Yeah,
not
for
to
real.
damage those servers. But I feel like she could have used something a little more useful than the big balls of pudding to shoot out of that cannon.
Yeah, that's true. Does she know how pudding works?
I guess.
How does pudding work?
Very carefully.
Okay, cool. Speaking of that, we're at the end. We got two more, and they're connected. First one, the shocking betrayal of some guy. So yeah, and this must be extra hard for us because I don't know who any of these guys are. So it's like, oh, my old friend. I kind of got a sense this was his first thing, but I was also ready to believe he was a main player that we just hadn't seen in a while.
Now, I used my anime senses to detect that all the people from this island were original characters who never showed up before and will never show up again. So I was fairly certain that I was not like missing anything, which makes which honestly it would have been better if I thought I was missing something, because the way it stands, it's like, what the hell? Why do I care?
Yeah.
To clarify, I mentioned in the recap at the start, who could say?
Ben Affleck.
It's when we stop acting cool and stop. I don't know. What was the real world thing that they say at the beginning of the real world?
They stop being
doing something
and start.
Yeah, that's it.
Real.
And start being real. That's what it is. I was like, what is it? Is it stop being cool and start being bad? But yeah, it could have been any of them, honestly.
But at the start, I mentioned that we find out her dad orchestrated the whole thing with like fake villains to try to steal this invention that he wasn't allowed to do anymore. But then it turns out the double cross, his assistant betrayed him and hired real villains. And like the assistant says this, and the dad is all shocked, like, Sam, my oldest friend, how could you betray me? And I think I said this at the top, but I'm like, this guy's had like 2 lines.
Yeah.
What is this supposed to be? Why did we need this at all?
Well, that was really weird. I guess they wanted the dad to be a bad guy, but actually a good guy, so we needed another guy to be the bad guy, but not to be the bad guy, to let the bad guy into the place so he could actually be the bad guy. And that guy was working for the other bad guy.
But I feel like it's perfectly fine for him, even if he got tricked, where he's like, I thought they were just actors, but really they were villains.
Right.
Honestly, I think it would have been better if he just really did hire some villains and just got in over his head, but...
Yeah.
But even just doing that, you want to make him as innocent as possible. Like, then you have the villain to walk in and do the betrayal and everything. Why do we need this guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who just... And this is also just, like, the most predictable shit in the world, where he's like, I've betrayed you... Aha, and then I walk to other villain who immediately shoots him.
Yep.
Doesn't even pretend for a second.
And he
it
goes
does feel
down.
like they were trying to pad the runtime at some point, which I just thought was interesting. It's like, we need all these like extra levels, and it's like, these could have been fight scenes. Like, it's the one thing when like you're making one of these like fucking anime movies, you could just fill the rest with fight scenes. No one's gonna complain.
That's true. And also, if this character's not going to come back, we don't need a redemption arc. It's fine.
Also
he can just be bad.
Also that.
But I guess we do
Super
need a
true.
redemption arc.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
it does fall very tropey, this movie, but like they all do. I'm not gonna like ding it so much for that. But it's like I wish I just wish there was like a little more. Honestly, just like fucking punch each other. Like that's what I wanted more of.
The whole movie is very tropey, but it bothered me in this scene because it felt so rote. It's like, here's a bunch of characters
that's good.
You don't give a shit about. Like, just going through the motions of what you know these plot points are going to be. And I'm just like...
That's a very good way to put it. Yeah.
I don't care. I barely care about David and Melissa, as at least they've been on screen a decent amount. I definitely don't care about Sam, and I certainly don't care about this villain who all he's done is yell into a walkie-talkie all movie.
Yeah.
So, like, having this dramatic
weird.
confrontation that's all about, like, the stuff they've got going on internally is, like, I don't know who this is for. Because it's not like these are characters that the anime watchers recognize. They're new. So this should be the part of the movie that I can fully invest in.
Yeah, that's true.
It's also interesting because... like, there is in this movie like a very like interesting plot line where they kind of like really talk about how, you know, All Might is on this like ticking clock where it's like, well, he's like the number one hero, and this is like a through line through the show, right? It's like, you know, he has to train Midoriya so he can become like the full All Might, but like it's touched on in this movie, but not like really invested in, and like that's another thing you could have spent time on. But
All Might had to be all wrapped up in tissues and paper stuff, so he couldn't help. He was busy. He couldn't get that voice actor, I guess. I don't know.
You mean Chris Sabat, the voice of Vegeta and Piccolo?
And The cool guy from Full Metal Alchemist, Armstrong.
Oh, he's got both of those. Wow, these are similar guys. I'm sure people have said which one would win in a fight. I'm sure it's this one, unless the other one's like on his deathbed, like he is for most of the movie. But yeah,
Nando, could you defeat All Might?
No, but I was wondering about this. Does he have a kryptonite besides just sometimes his power goes away?
Well, it's like that wound on his side from All for One. That's like a pretty big deal. I don't know if that's like what you're.
I mean, like
for.
a rock that I could throw at him that would mean I could kill him.
I don't think it's that 1-for-1.
Okay, then I'm gonna have some trouble. If it's a weakness I can exploit that's not insane, I've got a shot. But it doesn't seem like he has any besides just, I don't know, in the beginning, and I guess it's a flashback, but in the beginning I'm like, oh, that's kind of dumb. Or not like that's kind of dumb, he's kind of dumb or something. Like he's, like a Gaston character. But overall, like over the course of the thing, I'm like, nah, he's probably pretty smart too. Like I don't think I could trick him, which is the other way you go with a guy like this. So, yeah, it's tough.
He's very genuine.
I think it's like that because the beginning is when he's young, and he just has this power with no flaw, so he just doesn't have to think about it that much. And then this is him in his wise mentor years when he's learned a thing or two.
Yeah, and when I saw this character in pictures, and like when I heard who this guy was, you kind of figure, oh, something's wrong with him, or like this is a take on Superman. What if he was, dumb or mean or whatever, but instead he's pretty cool. Like I like this character. Again, I think maybe a movie about him would be the best one, but what can you do? I want to let's see. Oh, sure. Last thing on the list, speaking of that, I'm worried the villain thinks people can't change. This was one of yours, Diggins or DJ. I forget.
I know it's Diggins.
Yeah. So the actual villain, which is like Magneto, kind of, but not really, because like it's if Magneto could only make big old snakes and stuff, is like working for the other actual villain or something.
Yeah. All for One, the main antagonist of the series generally. Well, he's not working for him. He is just some guy who Sam hired and is planning to betray them. And then All for One found out that this was happening, and he's like, hey, let me give you some help. I don't know exactly what he gave him, actually, to be honest with you. But he was like, let me help you out because this will make All Might mad, and I'm all about that.
Fascinating. So we get the bad guy gets the Cerebro or whatever it is, and that makes him extra good.
Yes.
And he builds a Borg cube. It's pretty good, I guess. Everyone's really worried about it. I don't see what it's for. Besides being big.
Yeah, he's very uncreative with his powers, even when they get, like, super amplified. And I guess also he just makes big wads of metal and throws them at people, which is the single worst way to fight the guys who punch things good.
Exactly. And, like, when it's just the two of them, like, when it's All Might and the kid, and they're having trouble, there was a moment for him where I'm like, where the fuck is everybody else? And then they do show up, and it's like, yeah, I think they can work together and beat him. Their powers are pretty good, and yeah, his is okay. Like, it's solid, but it's not foolproof. But it's kind of treated like it is. I don't know. But it's a weird power.
The reason for the name of this wheel slice, though, is because this villain also has some extremely weird political beliefs.
Yeah.
Where when he's like dragging David with him to the helicopter or whatever, he's giving on this whole monologue about like, ha 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 ha, David, now you have done an evil thing by trying to steal this, which means your soul is tainted forever. You're a monster villain because you did a single evil thing. Now, you'll have to work for me and be evil forever because you have no other choice. There's nothing else you can do in society now that you've done a single bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right, yeah.
It's weird that he does that. It's really weird.
It's like he's a villain. He's like a full evil anime villain talking about how much he loves evil, except he's talking about it like he's a Fox News host talking about immigrants.
Yeah. It would be funny if in the future we did check in on this guy. Like if he like went to jail for this, and even though everybody else kind of had a Fast and Furious moment where the bad guy became good, he was still in jail for his crime because he did a crime and it was as bad as evil as you can be. Like he broke the one actual rule in this universe. Because I do imagine a lot of the way the show probably works is villains become friends eventually. And then by the end, you've got a gigantic team of heroes and one villain.
I honestly have no idea. I do know, and I don't know which villains, and I don't know for what reason. I remember there was a point where people were like, the villains in this show are kind of right.
Well, what do they even want?
I don't know. I never examined that claim very closely because I didn't watch the show and I wasn't that interested.
Yeah, like, even in this, like, I can't quite tell what One for All wants.
Oh, no.
To kill One for All, or to kill All Might.
Yeah, hold on. You mean what All for One wants? All for One is the villain.
God, it's so...
It's
Nano's right. It's so fucky.
It's confusing.
But yeah, I don't know what either of them want, or like what he wants besides to kill All Might. Just All Might's power is like Apocalypse in the shitty movie, where it's like he could suck up everybody else's powers, right? That's his deal.
You mean All for One? Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
He can steal people's quirks.
Yeah,
he has multiple quirks, which makes him a bad man.
But like the main guy, what is our hero's power?
You mean
Deku?
Deku, yes.
He has the One for All quirk.
He punches.
What is that? Right,
Yeah,
it's just
he
punching.
so
He doesn't
good.
have like control over all kinds of bullshit. It's just punching.
It makes you Superman, except without flying, you just jump hella high.
Okay, all right, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the quirk, it's the only quirk that can be passed from person to person, and every time it's passed, it gets stronger.
But you can only pass it once. Like, once you have it and
Yeah.
pass it on, you can never have it again.
right. You can't just power it up by sitting in a room with someone for like a year and just passing it to them. No, and they pass
Wouldn't
it back
that
to
be
you.
something?
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, I guess it's a gradual process, because again, All Might still has the power for a long time. He just, like, gets less
Right.
and less able to use it. I don't understand this part fully.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of assumed All Might had a quirk that was super strength and then was all... Because it seems like he says, like, I have muscle quirk. I think he uses that word. And then he was also given this quirk by someone. And now he only has muscle quirk. So that means he's good, but not as good as he used to be. That's kind of my read on him.
Maybe? That might. I have no idea.
And just the way they said muscle kind of confused me. Yeah, interesting. The show is interesting.
I think that's what we learned here today. The show is interesting.
In conclusion, My Hero Academia is a land of contrasts.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I wonder, is this the best of the My Hero Academia movies? Because there's other ones, obviously. There's one called Heroes Rising, and there's one called World's Heroes Mission.
Guys, we should watch them all.
I mean, now I'm kind of curious, but also I feel like I'd miss huge gaps of stuff like continuity, where kids would be dead and there'd be new ones, and I'd just have to spend the whole movie going, what happened to the invisible one? And then I'd feel like a fool when she was right there next to him or something. Yeah, I don't know. Not my least favorite anime, but not my favorite either.
What is your favorite?
Probably One Punch Man.
Enlighten us.
Yeah, I think it's the best one.
What's your
right?
second favorite?
I mean, like, from childhood, Yu-Gi-Oh! But, like, in real life, I guess it's probably Spy X Family, because I still watch that, and I kind of gave up on Mob Psycho, and those are the only two that were anywhere near. Well, I mean, Speed Racer, as an anime, I never really watched it, but I enjoy the Speed Racer brand. One of those. Yeah. I don't know. Is there another good one? What's the best one? Full Metal Alchemist. People really like that. I enjoyed the ones I saw.
You'd probably like it.
Yeah, I can't wait for live action One Piece. That's gonna.
I
be
mean,
good, right?
that's gonna be the holy grail. No one will approach the greatness of that.
So maybe we'll do live action One Piece, live action How to Train Your Dragon movies, and then we'll just kind of come through all the classics. Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, we got them all done. You guys, do you want to get to our classic segment?
I would love to get to our classic segment.
All right. Do you guys have anything you want to recommend to the fine people, DJ?
Yeah, so I got a couple things I want to recommend. Firstly, I'd like to recommend a little reality dating show on Netflix called Perfect Match. I was kind of talking about this one. But essentially, they brought together the Netflix cinematic universe of dating peoples to one unified dating show where they could find their perfect match.
Does this one have Kang?
This one does not have Kang. I think the sequel might have Kang.
Okay, all right. As long as we get some Kang in this cinematic universe, otherwise, who gives a shit?
There's no point. There's no fucking Kang.
Do you recognize more of them than you expected? Like, is it like seeing old friends at a high school reunion?
It honestly is,
Does
and like
that-
in a very enjoyable
I was
way.
going to say, does that fill you with shame? If you were that
more
flasher
powerful?
guy, would you become very powerful?
Yeah.
Oh my god! You think after a while it would wear off, right? Like he would just give like, yeah, here's my junk. It's like he doesn't feel shame anymore.
I feel
Well,
like
you'd have to go to more shameful places. Like you'd have to go to like a nunnery or something. Then you get a real good shame. That's when you want to kill Godzilla. But otherwise, you can usually just
Honestly,
any intersection is fine.
I feel like if you're the person where that's the first place your mind goes when you're like, I need to feel shame to be powerful, you will actually not feel shame from doing that at all.
That's true. Yeah, it's a real catch-22.
So anyway, they pulled all these different people from these different shows, which The Circle, Love is Blind, Too Hot to Handle, The Ultimatum, our boy Zay is back, that crazy guy.
Zay?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's back. He's here to find love.
I think he can do it this time.
You think?
I think this is his shot. Yep, I think he's gonna win with love.
So they bring them all here, so they could find love, and it is pretty good. So the premise is actually interesting. So they bring them together, and then they all pair up, and some people do it not. They don't quote unquote are doing it because they fell in love. It's like strategy. It's like, well, if you don't pair up with someone, you have to leave the island. So they're like, I want to stay on the island, so I'm going to pair up with you, even though we might not be feeling it. And then there's a game, and then the winning couple of the game gets to bring two new people of the same gender onto the island and assign them dates to two of the people who are already coupled to try and decouple them, or just put rifts in, or maybe to date them themselves. And it's pretty interesting. I kind of like the format. So yeah, there's 4 episodes out so far. Watched all 4, really like them. If you watch any of the Netflix dating reality shows, you'll probably like this.
How many oranges are eaten during the show?
What's that?
How many oranges are eaten during the show?
Do
we have documentation of the orange consumption? I want to know. Otherwise, how can I know if these people are good or bad?
This one.
Yeah, I give up.
It's the only thing the show doesn't deliver on.
That'd be great if they had a full orange counter at the bottom. That was always at 0, but then eventually it was 1, and you're like, oh, it's just popping off.
But yeah, I very much enjoyed it, and would absolutely 100% recommend it. So that's one, and then the other show I wanted to recommend, a little animated show on Disney Plus called Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which is so much
from
fun.
Marvel Snap. They made a show about Marvel Snap. Yeah,
they did. Those bastards finally did it. Yeah, it's very, very fun. I like the animation style. It's very so it's adorable, but it's also this comic panel-y, kind of stop motion, very hard lines drawn. The humor's good. It is very much for children. The show's for babies. But I'm enjoying it. Regardless of whether it is not for children or adults or whatever.
Are you watching it with your baby?
I am not watching it with my baby, no. Should I be? Should I be watching it with my baby?
I mean, if you want him to be smart,
That's true.
Because
Lunella, Moon Girl's super smart, right?
I think she's currently the smartest character in the Marvel Universe.
Wow.
Wait, really? More than Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic?
Well, Iron
every
Man's
couple of years they introduce a new... Oh, that's true. But even in the comics, every so often they'll introduce a new fucking child who's the smartest kid in the universe, because it's her, Valeria Richards, Reed Richards' kid, is also the smartest character in the universe. Amadeus Cho,
isn't he supposed to be the smartest one?
He's always the 8th smartest. That's the only one who has a defined position. But yeah, Lunella is right above Reed at the number 1 spot. But yeah. They like to do that. It's either a character that's been around the whole time, Ant-Man or whatever, or Beast, and some brand new kid character. But anyway, yeah, she's very smart.
But yeah, it's a fun show. I think there's only 6. I think there's 6 episodes. First one's an hour, and the rest are half hour. It's good. It's good. I enjoy it. It's very cute. It's funny. It's light. So if you're looking for some that we have to watch, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur on Disney Plus.
Nice.
And those are my recs.
Diggins, what about you? You have anything to recommend?
Yeah, I gotta watch a couple movies this week I can recommend. First one's an obscure little thing about his family in Austria, a nun who goes to be their governess and teaches them how to have fun, and then she falls in love with the dad, and they get married, and then in the last 30 minutes there's some Nazis.
No,
It's called The Sound of Music,
Ah.
which I had never watched before. I mean, obviously I knew the stuff. I knew the...
Yeah, right? Like, it's one of those movies where you've seen 3 or 4 of the scenes before you've ever watched
Yeah,
them.
like I knew most of the songs, I knew what the plot was, etc. But I actually sat down and watched it, and it is a very fun, like, big 60s musical. As I often do when I watch old movie musicals, I get a little mad that we just don't do these good anymore. Because, like, we used to know how to do them. We used to know how to film these in ways that were interesting and like, dynamic. And
I mean, again, that's why fucking Rocket Man's the only time they've ever done it. Like, it's the last time they did it in a very long time. I mean, La La Land tried. They tried so hard.
But in the end, didn't even matter.
It wasn't very good. Looked at his feet.
So that's you know, like, I feel silly, you know, going on about The Sound of Music and its virtues. You know, it's a very famous movie. If you think you might be interested, you should watch it. It is quite good. I also watched another quite famous movie, but not on the level of cultural ubiquity as Sound of Music. I watched a movie called The Apartment. Have either of you guys ever heard of this one?
Oh, is this one with the
Negative.
bugs?
No, not Joe's Apartment.
Then I don't think so, but maybe. But yeah, what is this one?
I was
I hate that movie.
gonna say, you thought I would be wrecking Joe's Apartment?
I don't know. People must like
Really
it,
on
right?
brand.
Otherwise, why does it even exist? But I don't know.
I appreciate it. I think it's great.
Yeah, no. I love the
Jeez.
movie about the sentient cockroaches who decide to help out the disgusting, filthy man who lives in that apartment's sex life.
It's Crispin
on brand
Glover,
for
right?
him.
He's the main guy.
Who's
One of the weirdest actor ever alive. It's a weird one.
No, this is a different movie than that. It's like a slightly
cool.
different plot.
Is it the prequel?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is the story of what happened to that apartment before Joe moved in.
That's good. I see. Maybe that's why I didn't like Joe's Apartments, because I didn't know it had a.
You didn't. Yeah, you didn't know the story about the apartment.
Yeah.
No, so this is a movie from 1960. It actually won Best Picture at the Oscars that year. But it's about this guy who works at like an insurance company, just, you know, regular businessman office job, and to try to like curry favor with his bosses and get ahead, he lets his bosses use his apartment whenever they want to go have sex with their mistresses,
Oh,
so that the wives
Cool.
don't find out.
Right. Yeah.
as you would.
And it's all going very well for him, but then it turns out that one of the mistresses of like his top boss, like his direct superior, is the office girl he has a crush on.
How they get you.
It goes from there. Honestly, like, it sounds, you know, a very light, wacky kind of comedy, and it is that at first. It is just kind of like this funny satire about how all these men are terrible.
As they are.
As they are.
Yeah.
But as it goes on, it actually gets very, I don't want to say like poignant. It gets very, it really takes the emotions of its characters seriously in a way that surprised me, where like we really get into what drives Buddy, the main character, the guy whose apartment it is, and Fran, who is the girl he has a crush on. It really gets into what drives them, what makes them lonely, how they react to and deal with that, and in the process of that shows them, like, you know, coming together, and, you know, I don't want to say falling in love, but, you know, getting to know each other better and everything. And it just surprised me how affecting I found it by the end. I think it's a really good blend of that, like, comedy drama thing, that dramedy, where it's like, it's not too heavy or maudlin, where you feel like, you know, it's just playing for the cheap seats emotionally.
Right.
But it still, like, takes everything that happens seriously enough where you get invested and feel like, you know, this matters. And I don't know, I really loved it. I genuinely was like, oh, this is one of my new favorite movies. So that is a strong rec from me for The Apartment from 1960.
Wow.
Oh,
Cool.
what about you, Nando? Do you have anything to rec? Oh, also,
I have so many things.
sorry, I just want to say real quick, it's actually free on YouTube. If you search it on YouTube, you can just watch it there for free.
I love it when movies do that.
Not illegally, perfectly legally.
Well, what's the fun?
What if I
then?
want it to be illegal?
Yeah.
Well, then you can go search the dark web if you want, but it is available for free on YouTube in good quality legally.
Nice.
So,
all right. Well, then now you're talking. All right. I have so many things. I'm gonna try to go through some of them quickly. Harley Quinn had a Valentine's Day special that I watched on Valentine's Day. Pretty good. If you like that show, it's more of that, and it's got some silly things that are good. It's crazy to me that like people that don't know too much about comics now are exposed to some of these characters, right? Like, Kite Man. It's people who know who Kite Man is now. Who gives a shit? Like, it's not an important character, but he is like a kind of a household name, and that's so strange. This episode's one is Entrigan the Demon, who says everything in rhyme. Like, getting any of him, you're like, what? How would we live in a world where he is a bankable character who it's like, yeah, throw Entrigan in. I think people will get it. Wild.
well, because Etrigan
It's pretty funny. Yeah, no, Entrigan's great. I mean, and he's another one of those characters where, comic fans are like, they got to put Entrigan in something because when they do, he's going to be a whole lot of fun. Yeah, I like Entrigan a lot. That was fun. I also watched again, but I will re-recommend it, the Michael Bolton Valentine's Day special that they made a couple of years ago. So funny. Like, it has some great bits, and so many people, like Tim Robinson and people, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like all the funniest people now made this. It's by The Lonely Island, and it's really funny. It's on Netflix. If you're ever in the mood for a dumb little fake special. Okay, but then other new stuff. So, okay, one other thing that I watched yesterday, Abby from Philosophy Tube made a play in, I guess, London, the West End. And so it's not here, but they did a pro shoot of it on Nebula. And it's about Shakespeare, but also it's not quite normal Shakespeare. I'll just say that. It's interesting.
Marlowe.
I think it was... What's that?
Some people have a weird conspiracy theory that actually Christopher Marlowe wrote all of Shakespeare's plays.
Right, yeah. No, yeah, it's a take on Shakespeare, which I think is interesting because it does a good job of integrating the themes of the thing and also just like the text in a way that is new, but also just it's interesting how like Shakespeare, it's not the best thing. It's not the best play ever written, but it has become a cultural touchstone where we're just like Shakespeare, Macbeth, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, we're all going to know what that is. And then you, interesting person, you get to make a movie of that, and it's cool. Like that Macbeth movie from a year or two ago. Was that Robert Eggers made that?
No, that was Joel Cohen.
Oh, yes, that's right. Like, that ruled. And it's like, I don't know, it's just interesting how, like, Shakespeare is that, where it's just this thing that, because I guess the royalty loved it, that we all just decided that's the thing. But yeah, so I would watch that. It's on Nebula. Okay, comic. Real quick, I started reading the Black Cat series from a couple of years ago because I was reading the Domino comic that I've read before, and I realized she mentions this one. She's like, me and all those other luck power people like Shamrock and Black Cat, we all got to hang out or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, Black Cat does have luck powers. I forgot. And then I'm like, I don't think I've actually ever read a comic about her. I've seen her and stuff. And there was a series not too long ago by, I think it is Jed McKay. It starts with some King in Black nonsense that is fine, but not that good as like a just showcase of her character. But when you get to like book 4, 5, 6 in that series from like 2021, it's a good, like a fun little heist story. And she's interesting as her own thing. The same way that kind of Catwoman is, where it's like, yeah, she doesn't need to be hanging around Spider-Man, all this stuff. I could see I used to think she was a character that, like, if they ever made a solo movie of her, it's because we ran out of ideas. But now I'm like, I think I could see this movie actually working probably better than half the stuff. Better than Craven, for sure. Okay, other movies. I watched The Fablemans this month, or this week. I also watched a movie called Yes, God, Yes. So this is part of my quest to find Superman. A couple of things people had recommended to me for, like, this actor could be a good Superman, or in those things. Yes, God, Yes is fun.
They recommended David Lynch, and you were like, you got to check out his cameo
exactly.
in The Fablemans.
He's fucking spectacular. But yeah, I mean that, and like, okay, so Yes, God, Yes first is like a movie about a girl played by the one from Stranger Things with a teeny tiny face. I don't know her name. The older sister, who's like young and is she's like going through puberty, and she's a hardcore Christian or something, and she goes to some sort of like, not like conversion camp, because it's not that, it's like an abstinence camp, and also falls in love with a boy, and like it's all about how that navigating that is difficult. I thought that movie was actually pretty good. It was interesting. It had an interesting it had a more nuanced view on that than I was kind of expecting. And it just it's gotta be really hard to deal with. That was fine. Fabelman's it's great. Like, he's just so good at this, you know? How is Steven Spielberg so good? I mean, we know how, but like, it's just like...
Because John Huston told him that advice, and he took it to heart.
Yeah, and his parents got really divorced. And wait, is that John Huston? I thought it was, what's his name? John Ford?
Oh, is it John Ford?
I thought it was, because he's the guy that made The Searchers, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is John Ford.
Yeah.
I'm a fool.
The name for a second, I was like, that could be it, though. And it's because I have a problem with John Ford, because I hear Tom Ford, the suit guy, and I think it's John Ford. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I liked the parts more that were about his life than his parents' life. Speaking of weird Christian girls, loved her.
Yes!
Thought that whole thing was very fun.
Oh my god, that was the funniest scene.
Yeah. Everything with him being like a kid trying to, just flirt and like have a life and making movies. I love that. Obviously the parents are great. Everybody in it's great. But that end bit was very fun. And I had a really good time with it. And as someone who was very skeptical of it, just based on the pitch, I think it was worth it. Last thing I watched. So on NBC's streaming app, Peacock, we all love Peacock, there is a show that is absolutely bananas insane. It is called Paul T. Goldman. Have either of you guys heard of this?
I have.
No.
Have you seen it?
I haven't watched it, but I've heard of it.
Oh, boy, it's weird. It is weird. It's like Nathan For You if the guy making all the suggestions was not doing it as a bit.
Okay.
So there's this man who, normal-ish, like nothing too special about him, has a very strange experience with one of his wives, with like kind of a tale of deception and whatever. Writes a book about it. The book, I'm sure, is insane. Gets published in, I think, the mid-2000s. Or late 2000s, tweets the book out to a bunch of people, like directors and whatever. And he's like, we should make a movie of my book. And one of them, I believe the one who did Borat 2, reads it and is like, yes, we need to make this movie. Also, he wants to star in it as himself. He is not an actor. He's not good at it, but he has decided he's going to Antoine Fisher this, and like, it's the movie about his life by him, but starring him. And the show itself is going through this story. It's an insane little mixed media. Like, sometimes we're listening to him narrating the book on tape. Sometimes we're watching the movie itself. Sometimes we're watching the behind the scenes of the movie. It's like we're watching the movie as it's being shot. Sometimes we're watching the people in between the scenes being like, hey, so did this happen like this? Because also, this guy probably made up a lot of it, but no one can figure out what. And that's so, so weird. Like, anybody who liked any of the Nathan For You stuff, watch one episode of this, and if you're not hooked, I probably won't get you. But, like, it's so strange. I haven't read too much into it because I want to be surprised. But if I find out it's a bit and he's not a real guy, I'll be very upset. But it does seem like he is a real guy or something.
That's so interesting.
It's so weird. I can't explain it. Well, you just kind of got to see it, and then you'll get it. And, like, you've seen this. Like, I think part of it is, like, the same way Nathan is good at this, but this guy also feels like a real guy. Like, he feels like a person that you would meet. And it's so like, and everybody that's working on this movie is trying to make a real movie. So they're like real actors, not like famous ones, although there is one, but like, they're like, hey, this is a good scene. And it's just so weird. Anyway, Paul T. Goldman, fascinating. That's it. Yeah. There is another thing I did see this week, but I will not recommend it yet. Because we're talking about it next week. It is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Wasp.
Quantamania?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of that. What's that about?
It's very
about
unclear.
Kang.
Yeah, it's about Kang.
Whoa.
It's about
We all
It's
know.
about fucking him?
about yeah.
Have you seen Jonathan Majors in the Creed trailers?
Honestly.
I mean, come on.
I'm just shocked they're finally adding sex back to the MCU.
You know what? We'll talk about this. I think there could have been I could think some things could have happened. It's not clear, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Ant-Man finally did go up a butthole.
It is upsetting, though. I think we talked about this before. I want one of the characters of the movie to ask him that and him to explain it so he doesn't have to do it in every interview forever. And there's so many moments where it's like reading a book or talking to somebody at a coffee shop, being famous in the beginning of this movie. Just have one of them say it to him. But either way, I thought this movie was, we'll talk about it, but it is out. People are seeing it. It has a score. Who can say?
What are the people saying?
It's about 2 hours long.
People are saying that. It's true.
Yeah.
I haven't not heard that, to be fair.
Exactly. What more do you need, really? So, yeah, we'll talk about that next week. Until then, DJ, do you have anything to plug?
Just Roses and Rejections, where we go over all the Bachelor and TV shows that I mentioned. Perfect Match is great, and I swear to God, if The Bachelor doesn't get better, then we're just going to switch to the Netflix show. We're just not going to do Bachelor anymore, because it's pretty bad. This season's been pretty bad, so yeah.
Yeah.
Be a bummer.
I do feel like literally every time I've heard you talk about The Bachelor, it's a complaint about how bad the current season is.
Yeah, I know. It's been a rough haul, but we're getting there, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a writer. But anyway, listen to our podcast where we bitch and moan about it. But also start talking about cool shows like Perfect Match.
Hell yeah.
Flawless.
Did you watch the after show? You watched the After the Weddings thing, by the way?
For Love is Blind?
I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
It's not as good as it could be. So we talk about this, but like they try to begin with all like the stability stuff, like, oh, look how great everyone's doing, and I'm like, get that shit out of here. I don't want to watch it. Give me my people being sad and just failing at their life. Like, please show me more of that, because I'm a bad person.
Yeah. Diggins, you got anything to plug?
Just stuff, newsletter, a little perspective, Substack.com, and I stream sometimes Twitch.tv/this is an odd name. Nando, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, I mean, not right now. I'll have an Ant-Man, like a really quick kind of Ant-Man video up on my second channel on the Nando Cut. Put out a video this week about, on that channel, that's just me talking about the Harry Potter thing and stuff. It's complicated, but also I have other videos, like I have my Batman, kind of why did the Batman, in my opinion, mess up the Riddler. That is on Nebula now. It'll be on YouTube soon, and then when that goes on YouTube, the casting Superman video will be on Nebula, the one that I'm currently researching. I'm betting both those go live at the end of the next week, but perhaps sooner. Not sure.
Will that be before or after this podcast comes out? Who can say?
Yeah, it's unclear, and also I have no idea. We'll find out. You're all listening with us. And until then, what's up?
Oh, I was gonna say, Nando, can you give the people a little tease for your Superman, or is it all under wraps?
He's casting the Mummy.
Brendan Fraser's back,
Superman
baby.
would be sick. I would
the
love
other
that.
guy,
Only
Imhotep.
while wearing the whale makeup.
Yeah, I mean, I want Benny. If we're getting mummy actors, let's get Benny in here, or Jonathan. We should do it. See, Diggins, you're the one who hasn't seen the Mummy, right?
That's correct.
You got it. Oh man, we gotta watch it.
We do.
Yeah, who's my Superman? I don't know. I really am the guy from the Yes God Yes thing. I was like, this is gonna be another fucking Milo Gibson where he kind of looks like him, but there's really not much else going on, and he hasn't been in a lot of stuff. But this guy is pretty good. Like, if you watch a scene from this movie, he's got both the physique, but also like the folksiness, because he is like a camp counselor at this Christian, like abstinence camp, and he is great. I think there are other guys playing like in roles right now, including two non-white ones that I think are actually really interesting picks and could do it, although they're both a little older than I'd like. But it is some of the usual suspects that you hear about when people bring this up. Neither of the Fabelmans kids, I think, worked for me. The main kid's too young, and the bully is just not. I don't see him clarking it up. But I had to check. But
all right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cool. Until
Until next week, you guys. I've been at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woohoo!
Bye. We love you.